that? What are we doing?
Live for a sound check. And it says we are live. So, can we get a sound check?
Hello there.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Mic check 3 4.
Yes. Whilst we wait, I'll show you guys what I'm drinking today. Drinking some Winter Crew. This is the Flying Fish Brewing Company, local brewery. See their logo up there in a very blurry image. One of their bottlers is like right down the street and around the corner. It's good. It's very, I was telling Dave, it's very cinnamony, this beer.
Cinnamony.
Yes.
Easy for you to
It's
say.
like cinnamon and spices.
Cinnamon,
in
spice, and all things.
In a Belgian style beer. It's
all
good,
things nice.
Yeah. Though it just makes me miss Iron Hill. Want to go back so bad.
Is it closed or?
No, they're doing indoor dining and all that.
It's probably all reservation based or whatever.
Yeah.
I
just want things to be normal again. Can things just be normal again?
Yeah, no such fucking luck, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I gotta put this in airplane mode. Oh fuck! I can't.
We got Big Lovin' and Sean in the chat.
Big Lovin'. It's been a minute. I feel like it's been a minute since you've been able to get on. I'm happy to have you on board today.
And then of course we got regulars, Bronco Fett. Ooh, Stonebleeds just popped in.
Nice.
And then of course this Kay Olsen person. So still haven't gotten any feedback on our sound yet. How do we sound, guys?
Yeah, guys, how do we sound?
Were you mocking me just there?
No, I was trying to do a voice. I just don't know what voice it was.
I'm like, wait a minute.
No, you don't talk like that. Sean says it sounds good and crisp.
Excellent.
Crisp. Ain't nobody dope as me. Fresh, so fresh and so clean.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Dude, I drove through the neighborhood the other day and somebody has like a Wu-Tang Clan sign on their front lawn. Like a Trump sign would be, except it says Wu-Tang forever.
Nice.
I was like, the irony is that it's like, not stereotyping or anything, but it's like, it's a white family with Asian adopted children with a Wu-Tang thing out front. It's like, I love it. It's fucking great.
Diversify your bones.
Talking all the good shit about Chappelle the other day.
Did you watch that bit that he did about Netflix and Chappelle Show and Comedy Central? I posted it in the group.
I think I did. If you posted it,
yeah. Where it was a clip of a stand-up that he did fairly recently within the last couple of weeks, where basically he called out Comedy Central for, licensing out Chappelle Show to all these streaming services. He hasn't seen a dime from any of it.
No shit.
Because of the contract he signed with them and everything else. So it was good, man. I mean, he's probably the only guy that can get away with that shit too.
I know. Dude, the dude's real as fuck, man. You can't ever question his integrity.
Yep.
Like, you might not agree with him, but you sure shit can't question, like, you're getting the genuine Dave Chappelle, no matter what's happening.
And I mean, he's one of the greatest comedians of all time. Like, the dude is a brilliant comedian.
Yeah. Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh and clean.
I'm already on beer number 2 and we haven't even started yet.
Damn.
This is not going to go well for me. My tolerance is still pretty low. Dude, that night I cracked open the Takamaka. What was that, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
I was so fucked up.
Dude, I don't know if you remember.
Shit.
Mid-show, I said, the switch is flipped. Jason's drunk now. Like, it's a very visible thing.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I'm sure I did the same thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, but we don't see yours very often. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So yours is a very rare sight. But when it happens, it is noticeable.
Well, it has to happen very infrequently because my the medication I'm on.
Yeah.
In fact,
Oh man, we got layman's terms in the house. Shotgun Mark is in the house.
should probably mention all these fucking podcasts and shit.
Solsky using the ATSW escape pod.
Yeah, to see he checked in and realized he was just talking to himself.
Mhm.
What am I doing?
What are you doing?
I was going into my bag for something. Oh, I don't remember.
They're talking about arm wrestling. We need to save that for like an anniversary episode, like maybe 200. We'll do arm wrestling.
Yeah, 200 part 2. We'll do the arm wrestling. Get to test out, see how your arm exercises have been doing.
I mean, I'm doing biceps and triceps twice a week.
Nice.
Doesn't make a difference. My arms won't get any fucking bigger, but I am working them out more. Same with my chest too. Like I'm really pissed about my chest.
Yeah.
Like I do a pretty significant amount of chest work every week.
All right.
Nothing.
But are you getting stronger?
Yeah, I'm able to lift more weight, but the size and the definition it's not showing up. It's pissing me off.
You'd have to, I think, in order to get to where you want to be cut like that, you'd have to do something drastic, more drastic than what you did for the Sober October. I'm talking about
well, it's got to be like bulking, right? It's
you have to do bulking, and then you have to start fucking dehydrating yourself and going through this wrestling cycle, where you're kind of in a constant state of dehydration, so that your muscle definition is always better, right? It's like this whole thing. You don't want to be there because that's not healthy.
No,
it's not, especially not in your mid 40s. It's not fucking healthy to go that hard. You just want to be strong. You want to be strong and healthy.
But what I really want is to look like the Ultimate Warrior from around WrestleMania 6.
Yeah.
That's the look I want.
You need to fucking roid up.
He was on a lot.
Homeboy. You have to. Yeah. That motherfucker was on more shit. It's any wonder his heart exploded. I mean,
no, it's not a wonder at all. No, the true wonder is how the hell Hulk Hogan is still alive. Right? That motherfucker has done so much cocaine and steroids and everything else in his life. He's like fucking 70 and he's still going.
Maybe that's the trick. Like you have to do enough cocaine that it kind of balances out the steroids.
That's the trick.
Is that part of it? I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm a huge proponent of HGH. When all the ball players and everybody were getting slammed for the HGH use, to me, that's the fountain of youth is HGH. Because it starts what the actual science of it and what it does to your body. It actually helps you regenerate this stuff. And
which I mean, who the fuck wouldn't want that?
Exactly. Right? Who wouldn't want that in the fucking military? My knee's shot. Do an HGH regimen or post knee surgery where I can come back on status quicker.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah. What is wrong with that?
Apparently, it's bad.
Well, I mean, I can understand in a competitive sports section, but for regular schmucks like us, I should be on an HGH IV drip all fucking day.
Yeah, shoot it, fucking I'll wear it in my hat.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was saying. You're doing it for pro athletes and everything else because that's their living, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't want some person to have an advantage over another. I get it,
right?
But for the military, why the fuck not?
Yeah, who the fuck
give all the fucking infantry guys all that shit. Let them roid up and then do some shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead. We're gonna stick this fucking this 10th mountain on you that's been on HGH for fucking 2 years.
Yeah.
Then they're ripping phone books in half.
Yeah, just twist your neck with his bare hands like some fucking Taliban guy. Just
done. Who would want to fuck with you at that point? Nobody. We're gonna load up a C-17 full of these fucking assholes.
Nobody smart.
We're gonna sedate them, push them out the back of the airplane, and when they wake up, they're just gonna start tearing shit apart.
We have a Hulk. We ready to start?
I think so. I think we're pretty close to 5.
Yep. You got a toast?
I do.
All right. We still sound good?
Yeah. How we doing?
And again, keep me honest. Got my phone right here. So if my sound drops out, I will see any texts, Lunar Girl. If you're on, I don't know. I haven't seen her on in a couple of weeks. So
see Shotgun Mark. It's oh, those arms are adorable.
I still love you guys.
Speaking of giant Marines that you stick in the back of a fucking airplane to go sick on somebody.
Mhm. Alrighty.
All right. So I will kick us into
Audio's recording. Our sound is allegedly good.
allegedly.
Bronco Fett and the click jokes never ends. So
all right, I'm going to click now.
before you do your toast, apparently people are split between a bunch of different chats in the live stream. So I say everybody go to the Gen X POV YouTube stream and do all your chat there.
Yes.
And now wait 5 seconds and do your toast.
To David Prowse.
To David Prowse. Yep, the man in the suit.
Yes.
David Prowse passed away yesterday. Yesterday is when the news broke, I think.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Or yesterday, the day before. The outpouring of the memes and everything else, and just it's pretty fantastic considering that he's just the guy in the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It took 4 humans to make Darth Vader.
Right. Between voices and
between the look and of what's his name? Shaw, right? Who is when they removed the helmet in Return of the Jedi.
Sebastian
Shaw, something like that. So you had him like as the only face that you see. You have James Earl Jones, obviously, with the iconic voice. Mm-hmm. You have David Prowse in the suit.
Yeah. And
there's a 4th one I can't remember right now. But regardless, it's sad. It's a sad day because more and more of these icons of our Star Wars youth are disappearing.
Well, and he was 85, so he was pretty up there. But at the same time, it's like you said, these people that we grew up with, they're all just kind of starting to go, and it's not through any fault of anybody. It's just time is a predator.
Yeah.
And eventually it's going to get you.
Exactly. So rest in peace, David Prowse.
Yes. Rest in peace, sir. And from everything I've heard, nicest guy in the world.
Yeah. God, same. All the shit I was reading on the internet over the past couple of days. There's like all the people that ran into him at Comic-Cons, and he would sign everything that you put in front of him.
Yeah.
Take pictures with you, do all that stuff. Fucking fantastic. I think Big Swede actually has some signed paraphernalia.
Oh, shit. Nice.
For Vader. So
well, if he ever recovers from COVID, he can come on here and tell us about it.
If he ever does. We could probably remote him in someday, but energy level is just complete shit.
Yeah, let's bring up the energy level a little bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. Back again for episode 162. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here, whenever we do this podcast,
we're here each and every week.
We are here each and every week. Maybe not for this particular podcast, but we digress.
Yeah.
The Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I am good.
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know. So I'm trying to get a voice ready for the end of the podcast.
Oh,
make sure that I'm.
So you're practicing
now. Okay. Because it has to be in the queue, right? It has to be in line to be ready to go.
Is this like method acting? Is that?
Yeah, totally. Where I had a little hitch in my throat and I just hello.
I like your first story better.
All right, fair enough.
So what are we talking about today,
dude? We're talking about the Mandalorian finally,
mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I thought Chapter 12 was worthy of an All Things Star Wars podcast, not knowing that Chapter 13 was going to be as good as it was.
Oh, yeah.
But so I'm disappointed that we didn't talk about chapter 12 last week, but I'm super excited to talk about 12 and 13 today.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on 12 a little bit, and I'm honestly glad now in hindsight that we didn't do 12 by itself, because based on some of the things that happened in there, there'd be all kinds of conjecture and theories that have all been completely shit canned now that we've seen it, chapter 13.
Right.
So it's good that we're talking about them together. And in the meantime, I went looking for any kind of Star Wars news, as we like to do at the beginning of these shows. Not a whole lot out there. There was a blurb in there about the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. I know that's been out for over a week now.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it. Have you watched it?
Neither have I.
Yeah, I want to. I'm hoping that there's some nods to the original Holiday Special in there. There's got to be, right?
The people that, Facebook friends and shit like that, the people that have watched it have said that they enjoyed it and it was better than the original. Which,
how dare you?
That's like saying that one atomic bomb was better than the other. Like you can't make those comparisons. No. You just can't. It's not a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's just well, we've done at least 2 episodes of this podcast strictly talking about the holiday special. So,
and I think at some point, maybe we can dedicate a few moments and make sure we watch it and then give it its due.
Oh yeah, no, I fully plan to. It's just a lot of shit going on in the Roscom household. So
yeah, and I think the other thing was, you know what? No, I didn't. There's a Squadrons update that's coming up. It's going to have some new ships. I think I brought it up a couple of podcasts ago.
Maybe, but I just saw a news story where they were talking about that again and basically calling out EA for the fact that, they claimed when Squadrons first came out that, there's going to be no DLC, none of that. And now there's DLC. Now, I don't know if they're going to charge for it.
No, it's free.
Like a free update.
Yeah, it's free. The updates so far are free. There's no in-game purchases that I've seen. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think the developers of the game have actually been on social media basically praising the fans, like all the people are pre-ordered and everything else, because I guess the reason that they can continue to make like these more downloadable content and create more environments and things like that is because so many people pre-ordered the game. And so you had that groundswell of like, okay, all these people have gotten into it, and then it's got a loyal following that I don't think it doesn't have universal appeal for. And I think a lot of it has to do with the console game experience is not very good,
right?
Based on everything that I've seen. And for us PC gamers, we're all for that particular thing. We're interested in more of that simulator feel, that TIE Fighter versus X-Wing feel that we got in a game from 1998. Like that's what we want, and that's kind of what this game has given us. So there's a lot of us that are in it for the nostalgia, and I just like flying a TIE Fighter around and shooting shit. And it's every time I get in there, I enjoy it. So
good.
Yeah.
Well, one of these days I'll actually play it, and maybe we could actually talk about it on the show more in depth. But in the meantime, do we want to talk about our weeks?
Not really, but let's do it anyway.
All right. Well, I'll start. First, I want to say happy birthday to my baby brother, Joseph. Today is his birthday. Not 100% sure how old he is. If I did the math in my head, he's probably mid-30s.
Okay.
But happy birthday, Joe. Love you, man.
Happy birthday.
Speaking of birthdays, yesterday was my son Robert's birthday. He is now 18 years old.
It's insane.
So I have now joined the parent of an adult club.
Yeah, it's very exclusive, and it's the worst club ever.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It doesn't feel too bad right now because he's still in high school.
Right.
I'm sure once he graduates and then moves on to whatever the next phase is, it'll hit me a little bit more.
It will. I'll tell you when it hits you. It's when they are like out of the house for any extended period. Mm-hmm. Like if college, like for my kids, it was like them going off to college and suddenly like there's an empty room. And you're just like, wow, this is weird. And then when they're all gone, then it's just even like creates this vacuum. But yeah, congratulations, I guess, and happy birthday, Rob.
Yeah. And so speaking of that, do you know what the hardest thing is to find this holiday season right now? If you had to take a guess, what would you say would be the hardest thing to find right now?
Sanity.
I'm talking physical products that you could buy in a store.
I don't know.
It might surprise you. A new PlayStation 4. Impossible to find.
A PlayStation 4?
4, not 5. Not 5. Not the new ones that have been out for a couple of weeks and that everybody's scrambling to find. PlayStation 4, new. Impossible to find.
Really?
In fucking South Jersey. Yes, because I tried for like 2 days.
Why?
Why did I try, or why is it not able to be found?
I have a... Why? Why did you try?
Because that's what Rob wanted for his birthday.
A PS4.
Yes, he wanted a PS4 and he wanted 2 specific games. Persona 4 something or other.
Okay.
And then some other Japanese name game something or other.
GameStop didn't have any like refurbished ones?
No, they had refurbished ones. They didn't have any brand new ones, like unopened ones. So yeah, we went to multiple GameStops, multiple Walmarts, Targets, went all over the fucking internet, called places, nothing. Nobody has a brand new PlayStation 4 in the box.
Yeah, I get the... So I know for a fact that there's when something like this comes out, people will go out and they'll buy like, oh, look, this is new, I'm going to buy it, right? Not understanding like what the difference is between a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5. We're like, oh, I got this PlayStation. Right. We're like, oh, you got the wrong one. And they'll go like, what do you mean it's the wrong one? It's the only one they had. Like, yes, that should have been your first indicator that something was wrong. Yeah. This happened a lot with the when Xbox One came out.
Well, the fucking like what they're doing now is even worse because the new Xbox is the Xbox Series X. The old Xbox is the Xbox One X. Well, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, I don't
really. There's no way they didn't do that shit on purpose.
Yeah, it's well. Let's do Microsoft standard shit and just not, instead of numbering it in series like the PlayStation did, let's just throw out some random shit and call it whatever. Big black box of justice, you know, whatever. It's
well, they started that shit with the Xbox 360 because I know in my heart of hearts what happened with that, because you remember the original Xbox came out at the same time the PS2 was out, right?
Yeah.
So it was Xbox versus PS2. Then PS3 came out, and Xbox wasn't going to be like, well, we're going to be the Xbox 2 versus the PS3, you know, because, well, we're the lesser number. So we're the Xbox 360, you know.
Right.
So it's all like fucking marketing.
Oh, yeah, it's all marketing. But it just shows you how Microsoft has been playing catch up to PlayStation. Now, look, I'm an Xbox believer, right? I'm not going to go back to the PlayStation. But back in those days, PS2 was, to me, a far superior product.
Oh, it was. Well, I mean, it had just support at the ass, too.
Yeah.
Everybody was developing for the PS2.
And so, like, when PS3 came out, we got that for my son because he was still on the PlayStation, and then I had gone to 360, Xbox 360, because, like, you know, Chuck and a bunch of other people that were playing football online and doing shit. That's what they were doing. So I was behind with the PlayStation. And at the time, I was playing Call of Duty on the fucking Wii. Like with the fucking with the gun remote, like actually playing World at War with the fucking gun remote. And then we traded the Wii in for the 360.
Yeah, the Wii was good for very specific games. Games like that, though, no,
it wasn't.
Same with the Force Awakens too, or Force Unleashed.
Now, if I had the TV that I have now with the Wii, like and walking like those games where I'm standing there, it's like real size. You know, they have a 65-inch television in front of like in a room that's not near, it's like this wide.
Yeah.
65-inch television on this. You can't get far enough away that you're not going to give yourself a migraine. So walking with the Wii and stuff, like A, it would have got broke probably immediately, and B, would have at least been a little bit more immersive.
Yeah.
I bet you can buy a Wii.
Not new. I guarantee you can't find one new in the box.
They're in the box.
Anyway, so we had Thanksgiving last week, and I'm still recovering from that. We did our Death by Meat. We did the Brazilian steakhouse. Oh, so good. Oh, it was great. They had their normal, like, crazy, like, Death by Meat menu, and then they had Thanksgiving shit on top of that.
Right.
I barely dabbled in the Thanksgiving stuff, honestly. Like, I wanted their top sirloin. Oh, my God, it was so good the other day. They have this fucking garlic steak, which was incredible. They had tri-tip, which was fucking phenomenal. So
the meat there is very, very good.
Yeah.
I don't know how. See, I'm not a Yardbird fan, right? I'll eat chicken like tonight at the Eagles game. We're going to have wings. It's like my father-in-law's thing. We'll make up a tray of wings. Yeah. And we'll sit there and watch the Eagles game with it. So chicken wings, stuff like that, like heavily breaded, the worst kind.
Of course.
That's how I'll eat chicken. But like regular fucking regular Yardbird is, and turkey's just advanced Yardbird.
Yeah.
I would rather go and have, like, we had ham with Kate out in State College. like because she wanted to have ham instead. Like,
well,
fucking
yeah, and a lot of
perfect.
people do that on Thanksgiving. so.
Because turkey, I'm going to probably get called out for this, but I think turkey is overrated.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, and the dark meat is okay, but it's all about like the dryness of it. Like just like the white meat in turkey, typically the way most people make it, it's so fucking dry and bland, and it's like, why are you going crazy for this?
And listen, there's people probably losing their minds right now, right? But
guess what? We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, don't really give a shit, and because I've had good turkey.
Yeah,
like I've had turkey like prepared. Like my dad makes a fucking good turkey. Like that's his thing. Like he'll make multiple turkeys so that he can have turkey leftovers for a month and a half. Right? He wants turkey leftovers straight from Thanksgiving through Christmas through to fucking St. Martin Luther King Day. Like there's nonstop turkey.
Nice.
So, and he fucking, it was good turkey. I've had really, really good turkeys. I've had really bad turkeys. To me, it's just, if it's good, it has to be really, really good for me to fucking be like, yeah, I'm going to take that over a fucking steak.
Yeah.
I'd rather let's do some fucking steaks. If you do that again next year, I might be able to talk Kathy into fucking doing something like that too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be fucking great.
Yeah. Well, there's an open invitation.
If
we do it again next year. So basically, the whole point of that was just to say that I've been eating like shit the last week, and I had to take a 4-day break from the gym because of my tattoo, which I showed off last week on the other podcast. Dude, I was chomping at the bit. By Thanksgiving Day, I'm like, I got to get back to the fucking gym. So, I'm at that point in my health and fitness. So going back on Friday was great. And I've gone every day since, but I can feel like all the shit that I've eaten. Plus, with Rob's birthday, we had cake and I wasn't going to not eat that.
Right.
And then we've got Christmas and my birthday coming up soon.
Yep.
So I know December is going to be kind of shitty for like eating, which just means I need to like keep
working out.
My working out and exercise.
This is the thing. And I'm not exercising nearly as much as you are, right? Not even close. But the reason I am exercising has more to do with the fact that I want to be able to eat what I want and not like get any bigger. Like,
right.
That's really what it comes down to.
Because that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. I'm just if I can work out to the point where like I'm consuming crap, but at least you're
balancing
it out, then that's the way to go. But cheers to you. You work your shit off a lot faster than I'm working off.
Well, it doesn't feel like it sometimes, but we'll see. And yeah, the beer doesn't help either. So
it's a celebration.
It's a celebration, bitches. So with Thanksgiving comes Black Friday. Didn't really do much as far as shopping this year,
right?
But I did buy one thing, and it's actually Star Wars related. So
nice.
Steam does their annual Black Friday / Christmas / whatever sales, and I guess they cut some deal with EA to put some of the newer Star Wars games onto Steam again.
Right.
Because it was a thing where EA was putting all their shit on Origin, which is their own fucking platform that nobody uses. So
that's how I have Squadrons, is through Origins.
Right.
And it's not good.
So apparently there's a thing now where you can go through Steam to buy your EA shit. They had the first Battlefront for sale. Now, Battlefront 2015.
Right.
So
the one with the clone trooper on the cover. Right?
No, the one that we played the shit out of on the Xbox One.
That was 2015.
Battlefront 2015. Not Battlefront 2, but Battlefront. So I'm like, fuck, I could go for this game again, especially if like there's still a multiplayer scene going on in it, because I could definitely like handle some blast games right now, especially doing it on the PC. So it was $5. I think it still is right now. I bought it. I'm like, fuck yeah. Download it, install it. It's the same menus and everything. I'm like, oh man, you're hearing the music in the background.
Right.
I'm like, fuck, this is going to be awesome. Go into the multiplayer. Nothing.
Nobody?
Yeah, I'm waiting in the queue, and like, oh, we have found a game for you. I'm like, yes. And it's only me in the lobby. I'm like, oh.
Sad face.
I go to the 40-player maps where it'll put you in any 40-player map.
Right.
Same thing. There is like no online presence right now in Battlefront 1, which I'm like, no.
It's a shame. But there's a really good following, like kind of what I was talking about with Squadrons. There's a good following with Battlefront 2. I think there's people that, we tried.
Yeah.
We certainly gave it the good college try, right? And we found it wanting. And I think there's a lot of people that stuck around and really enjoy that game. And good for them. I'm glad to get enjoyment out of it. I personally, and I think you're in agreement, I think that Battlefront was a superior product. It was definitely more fun to play.
Yes, I 100% agree. So at this point, one thing I did do after I was disappointed with the multiplayer is I went into, they do have the single player survival modes, and I went in and played those, and it was really fun. It was, the controls were a lot smoother. I was able to turn the graphics all the way up to like 1,000%, and it looked fucking sweet. Obviously, the sound with the John Williams soundtrack. So I was doing the survival levels on that, but it just got me aching to play the multiplayer again. So at some point this week, I'm probably going to fire up the Xbox One again and see if there's anybody playing Blast games.
I wonder if I went into Steam and bought it, if can we connect?
You can do custom games.
So if we could connect and then play like a survival thing like we've done before. Remember I showed you how to do that? We should be able to do that. So if you got a hankering for it, then the only problem is that I am not a PC gamer,
right?
Like with regards to that. So I would be a little behind the power curve, as it were. But I think it'd still be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
the graphics, the fucking graphics in that game,
they still hold up. 5 years later,
fantastic, just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'll have to do that. Yep. I accidentally fired up Steam today.
Did you?
Yeah, randomly.
Besides that, pivoting to our fantasy football league, I'm still number one. After this weekend, I should have a pretty solid grasp on the first seed in the playoffs. So, what's probably going to happen is I'll hold up tradition of the first seed getting bounced in their first playoff game, as tends to happen in real NFL and fantasy football.
Dude, your fantasy team has my fantasy team this week fucking did really well.
Yeah,
because I had Hill, and Hill got like 65 fucking points.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, sorry, Orange Jacket man. You go down in flames, which thank God, because I needed that win after losing to Tony last week.
Yeah. So you're kind of at the lower end of the playoff hunt, but you're still in the hunt. You're still like number 5.
I think I'm going to still be 5 after this, because your wife, I think, is going to hold up a number 4.
Yep. She's been doing really well.
Then you have, who's number 3?
It'd be Lehman. I think, well, he was going into this weekend.
I think he's still there. Like, I don't think the top changed at all.
Yeah.
Based on what was going on this week.
Yeah, because number 2, like I took number 1 from Tony, so he's at number 2, and then we got Keith still up there.
The first, second, and third are all like in your fucking division, by the way. Like it basically goes like, well, no, because it goes Tony then me, like at 5th. Yeah, everyone else is all the tops in you. Hey, I'm just super happy it's been competitive.
Yeah,
like, it's been competitive. Aside from fucking Imperial White Guard, who's obviously been an absentee parent.
Yeah, Robert Gibson. Like, are you still alive out there? By the way, Robert. Like, he could be dead right now.
Hello.
He auto drafted and he has not adjusted his team one time,
and he's actually has a win.
Yeah.
Who did he win against?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I thought it was
you, but no, it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't me. No, my only losses came to you, to Kristen, and to Bronco Fett.
Awesome.
So I've avenged my loss to Bronco Fett, and I'm playing Kristen next week.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. No, because Kristen her team's done really well. She has a lot of points. I've actually, my win-loss is not good, but my points are up there. So
yeah,
I think.
And speaking of points, I've been like number 1 in points for like 5 of the last 6 weeks or some shit. Like
dude,
that. It's been insane.
Yeah, you're peaking at the right point in the season.
Yeah, let's just hope again I don't have that first seed curse and get bounced in the playoffs.
If I make the playoffs, it's going to be one of those seasons where making the playoffs, call it like I'm going to call it a win. Look.
Well, because you started off pretty shaky.
Shitty. I like fucking was 0 for 4 at one point. And then to come back and being in the playoffs, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to call it up to our fantasy experience. I've been doing fantasy for fucking 20 fucking years, so I should have some ability.
And by the way, I just want to reiterate the fact that I've had very few transactions, probably the fewest transactions in the league. So the team that I'm working with right now is the team that I drafted that I got a C fucking minus for. Right. Thanks, Yahoo. Fuck you.
Listen, I think I'm letting go of Le'Veon Bell.
I think it's time.
Yeah, I drafted that motherfucker. I think number 2.
It's like those people that are still playing LaDainian Tomlinson like 2 years ago. It's like he still got some in the tank. It's
Or Adrian Peterson.
Yeah,
Adrian,
that fucker. That guy.
He gets points though. He's out there still getting points. It's stupid.
Yeah.
So funny.
Anyway, that's my week. What about you?
Listen, my week is going to be short. Unfortunately, with Ivo G in the chat, and he's been gone for a while, and I don't have a lot for my week. I just don't. Just that the holidays are fucking stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had, like I said, we went out to state college. Maybe did it illegally. I don't know. Like what sucks is like when you're driving out there and it has like every single road sign says, if you're coming from out of state, you need to do a 14-day quarantine. Yeah,
and you need to go fuck yourself.
We're not gonna do that.
Yeah,
like we went.
Well, it's all recommendations though. It's not mandatory. Like the state can't mandate that you fucking quarantine.
Right. Well,
this is fucking America.
They can, but then
you can lick my nuts.
It's an enforcement issue. So what are they going to do to enforce that? Yeah. Which honestly, the drive out there, I had my story prepped for whatever. You know, I was more worried about idiots driving because PA drivers fucking suck. And
worse than Jersey drivers?
Yes, especially in and around Philly.
Okay.
But it's probably a little bit of mixing. It's like commingling between the states of who really sucks bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to talk about those fuckers up in New York. I mean, if we're just isolating it to South Jersey, like PA's worse. Now, if you're including North Jersey, they win. They win. They're the worst ever.
Yeah,
all across the board. But no, we're driving out there, and I had my story prepped and everything, which nothing came of it. We were staying in a hotel in State College. We had the place to ourselves. It was the Hilton Garden Inn. They had one room occupied on 4 floors.
Holy shit.
So we were on the 4th floor. Then somebody else had the 3rd floor. Somebody else had the 2nd floor. Somebody else had the 1st.
Fucking sweet.
So it was eerie, dude.
Oh,
it was so fucking eerie to be like in the parking lot and going like, there's no other fucking cars here.
Feels like that hotel from The Shining.
The Shining? Yes. Oh, yeah, The Shining. But it was so fucking weird. But between the hotel and my daughter, like that was it. Like it was her and her boyfriend. It was us between the hotel. So I interacted with all of fucking 4 people in the entire state of Pennsylvania.
That's crazy.
Actually, not even.
Which, by the way,
Kent's cashier at the Shears.
Yeah, Dave's daughter is dating Jason Mantzoukas. For anybody who doesn't know,
who apparently Jason Mantzoukas' twin is also getting a doctorate in fucking physics. So
right.
Who knew?
I swear to God, I saw a picture on Facebook, and the dude looks just like him. So
super, super nice guy. Yeah.
So it was obviously
nice.
not Jason Mantzoukas.
It was a good holiday. We came back on Friday, and just the holiday. It's that the holiday stressors don't get any better because of the pandemic, unfortunately.
Right.
So for all of you out there that were fucking just sweating it out through all the family drama it usually happens on Thanksgiving, I hope you made it through unscathed and can get through the rest of this holiday season with your fucking
IVOG. I hope that I would get a 30-minute discussion about a spider bite.
Spider bite.
Just how you could take one random topic and just talk about it for 30 minutes, at least according to Ivo.
I unfortunately I believe that's accurate.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of state college, Penn State and Michigan had a football game.
They did.
They had themselves a football contest.
Yes.
That was pretty.
Yes, Satan.
That was a big boomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got some really shitty weather rolling through New Jersey right now. Well, the whole Northeast.
Right.
So if at any point the transmission cuts out, that's why.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, Michigan.
Fingers crossed for Big Swede because he loses power every single storm.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. You chose poorly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Michigan and Penn State. We're going back and forth with our Michigan contingent, the Galactic Refugees. Mm-hmm. And Michigan played like complete ass. And
so I heard.
And so did Penn State. It just so happens that Penn State played just better enough.
Yeah.
It was not. Listen, I was not expecting Penn State to win that game. I took the under, when it came to that game, and I was accurate. The reality is they're not good football teams. Michigan, I was hoping to hear within 24 hours of that game that Harbaugh had been fired.
Mhm.
Like the dude,
You've been saying this for 2 years though, so
but he
every time
deserves
they
it.
lose-
What have they done? They haven't done shit. He's
I'm not
he's a
disputing it.
fucktard.
Well, my question for you is, when it comes to Penn State or Michigan or any other team right now, how much of this do you attribute to fucking COVID and the fact that they didn't really get an off season or any kind of training camp or whatever the fuck college teams do?
I will, because I said it early on in this pandemic. That the lack of preseason and everything else, like the football product is not going to be adequate. Like
Right.
you're not getting home field's advantages. Like they played in a big house. There was no crowd. There was no noise. There's no like same thing when they're playing in Beaver Stadium. It's you're not getting the whiteout. You're not, against OSU. The crowd is huge in college football.
Right.
So 100% you're not getting the product. However, if you are a fucking legitimate coach in a Power 5 fucking conference, you have to know that you have to perform. Like however you do it, by hook or by crook, you take the talent, because Michigan has a far better recruiting class than Penn State has had recently.
Mm-hmm.
So the talent that's on that Michigan team, you should be able to make that perform in some form or fashion. What does that mean? That means you have to kind of segues into an Eagles conversation with Doug Peterson. Like, yeah, fucking COVID sucks. You've had injuries. You've done all this shit. Simplify your playbook. Get your playmakers to get themselves in a good rhythm during the game so that they can perform. And then when you make a big play, you can do that. You set them up for that. And then otherwise, you're not setting your team up for success. And what Harbaugh is doing, he's lost the team. Yeah. I had Brad Jacobs fucking message me during the Penn State game, and he's like, dude, Harbaugh's lost his team. And he's a UFF guy, right? He's a University of Florida graduate. Mm. So he's a Gator. He's an SEC guy, which we always bust his balls about. But the SEC doesn't have this product. The SEC doesn't have this problem. Like Alabama, Florida, those teams are performing at the level that you would expect.
Right.
And I expect, like, the fact that Ohio State is the only team with any sort of contention, any kind of conversation in a playoff situation.
Playoffs.
And I don't know what happens to Ohio State when they go up against a Florida or something like that. I don't think that they have the team to beat them. But you look at Harbaugh, they brought a guy like Harbaugh in there to fucking do two things: win football games and beat Ohio State. He hasn't done any of that. So at some point, it's time to cut fucking bait and let him go fold khakis at fucking Old Navy, because that's what's next.
Oh, he'll just go back to the NFL.
Who the fuck's going to take him in the NFL?
It'll happen. He's not going anywhere. If Michigan fires him, he will not go anywhere.
I don't think he coaches again. I'll put $1 on the fucking board that says he doesn't coach again.
So okay,
that he's not a head coach.
Speaking of that, what was the first $1 for?
I don't remember.
Fuck. All right. Anybody in the chat?
In the chat, what was our board bet?
Yeah, we have $1 bet on the board right now, our first bet in quite a while, and I have no fucking clue what it was about, but I am going to match it. So someday we'll have to go back.
You had $1.
Right. So this is for the first bet.
But
now, I also would be willing to throw the $1 on for Harbaugh. So
I bet that John Harbaugh does not get another head coaching job.
John Harbaugh is coaching the Baltimore Ravens right now.
Either way.
But if we're talking about Jim
Harbaugh, whatever the fuck.
$2 for Jim Harbaugh will coach again. Does it matter collegiate or NFL?
It doesn't.
Okay, so I say Jim Harbaugh will head coach a team again. I think it's going to be in the NFL next.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. He is damaged goods right now. He is damaged goods. And it would take a lot for him to get into a program that's going to give him the modicum of success that's going to bring his name back up to that standard. That's just fact. This is and look, James Franklin's no better. Penn State right now is so underperforming. They put a fucking kid in at quarterback. What?
The chat. It was about Luke being in The Mandalorian. I think I said that Luke was going to make an appearance in The Mandalorian at some point, and you said no, and I think that's what the first $1
All right,
was.
Very good. Thank you, chat.
Yes, you guys are the best.
But Franklin's in the same situation. That I think he's lost the team. He's not coaching adequately to I wonder if they can hear that. Can you guys hear that thunderstorm?
Yeah.
Um,
It's getting louder and closer.
He's not coaching the team properly. He's not preparing the team for these games, and they're not fighting for him. They're not like, hey, let's rally around this coach like you see happen with some programs.
Yeah.
Like Harbaugh and Franklin both have lost the program. So, but the problem with Franklin is Penn State owes him so much money, they can't afford to get rid of him. Harbaugh, gone. You've already shot your load to fucking Harbaugh. Yeah. If you're Michigan, you need to let that go before the talent class that's right now goes into the fucking transfer portal and you fucking lose them. You're going to lose them to places like Georgia or fucking Clemson or Auburn or Florida.
Yeah.
When Penn State lost a wide receiver who's fucking killing it right now down in Florida. Killing it. And that's a direct reflection of he left Penn State because of James Franklin. Franklin needs to go.
Yeah.
I never bought into his fucking recruiting. You know, it's bad. It's bad. Boy cried wolf situation here. I hear clicks in the background.
I think that's the rain hitting the AC unit.
That may very well be the rain.
Tink, tink, tink. So, is that it for your week, or do we have anything else?
Eagles play tonight. I don't expect to win against Seattle. I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping Carson Wentz.
I'm hoping so too. I'm pulling for the Eagles.
There is a fire right now. Like the Eagles program is a dumpster fire right now. There's rumors that Peterson doesn't want to coach there anymore. There's rumors that Jeffrey Lurie is going to make huge changes, that he hasn't been showing up to football games because he's so unhappy with the product. You're either going to see a new head coach in Philly by the end of the season, or you're going to see some other drastic change in Philly.
Changing quarterback?
I don't think so. Because you don't have anybody right now. Jalen Hurts is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's just not. He's that Taysom Hill, like who's getting you points in fantasy for fucking being a backup quarterback to a Drew Brees, but you're not replacing Drew Brees with Taysom Hill.
Right.
It's this, and I'm not saying Carson Wentz is Drew Brees. I wish he was, but you are also you're not. You can't replace that, but you can replace the coach. And I think, sorry, Doug, hey, just like with Nick Foles, like when it gets to a point where the program is now, if you're the owner and you can't watch the football game, it's time to change something.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen one way or the other. So we'll see tonight. I'm hoping for a win. I really am.
Me too.
But I wanted to make one plug before we lose power to the fucking.
I know, right?
Through.
Yeah, this may only be a half episode at this point.
I'm doing this. I'm doing a thing. I don't know if I talked about it last year, but I do this.
Yeah, you did.
Past couple of years, I do this thing for Reach Across America. I don't do it for Reach Across America. I do it. I participate with Reach Across America because I want to have the local veteran cemetery represented, and have wreaths placed there just like they do at Arlington.
Yeah.
So I've been a program coordinator for this for a few years now. If you're in any way interested in it and you're watching this live, because by the time this drops, it'll probably be too late. December 1st is the last day to contribute and sponsor a wreath, but you could always do it for next year. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
If you go to wreathsacrossamerica.org, and if you want to sponsor a wreath, click on the support a local. How you doing? I forget what the actual button says. But you can go sponsor even. You can put in like a local thing, and for my organization, it's NJ 0139, and maybe we can put in a show note or something like that. But yeah, if you're so inclined and you have the ability to do that, what it ends up doing is we get the wreaths, and then we go, and on December 19th they'll be placed at the Camden County Veterans Cemetery, and it's a way that I feel like I can contribute some way, back to the veteran population.
Yeah.
So, and if you can, do it.
Can y'all hear that thunder?
Yeah.
Right
so
now?
Jason's going to go out there and fucking.
You're seeing these flashes?
I am seeing these flashes. I'm wondering where you're going to pee. You're just going to stand in the doorway and go?
Maybe.
Probably should.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
Holy fuck.
Awesome.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break and hopefully come back after this word from our sponsors.
Ooh, you know what I can do? For those of you that are going to watch this on the YouTube.
Sweet Jesus.
Smells good though. It's like 70 degrees right now, which is odd for November 30th, obviously. Not that I'm complaining about it because I'm sitting here in shorts and a t-shirt. But you actually it smells like almost like a spring rain, like because it's coming from the south. So that's kind of, it's nice. It's kind of nice. So watch this. I'm going to do something fancy here. I'm going to click buttons. Oh, I got to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So if you are, well, it squished us. All right. So this is what the Reach Across America site looks like. If you click here, it says local sponsorship group. You can put in whatever you want here. But when it says select group to support, put in NJ01139. And it's going to come up Camden County Masonic Veterans Association. That's the organization that I run. It supports the Camden County Veterans Cemetery. And then you click there, and then that will ensure, once you select those things, that will ensure that our group gets it. And listen, if wherever you are, if there's an organization that's out there participating in this, then support your local one. Yeah, go if there's one in Boise, or if there's one up in Hawley, right? If you have a local organization that you know is supporting that, then support them. It's not like, for me, it's I get no benefit from it at all, except for my personal gratification that I get to do this. There's no gain as far as like the charitable contribution or anything else like that. That's not what this is about. And organizations that are using it for that, I don't agree with that. I kind of frown upon that. You're gaining off of I just don't agree with that. But yeah, if you have the ability to do that. And fuck, Big Lovin says he's walking his dog in cold, windy snow. I would rather have a thunderstorm than fucking snow.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because at least it's not cold out. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops, and I'm fine.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm sitting here shorts and t-shirt. I'm like, yeah, I'll take this.
Yeah, but fucking hell. Yeah, it's getting bad out there.
Yeah. Did you go all the way inside?
Yeah, I went in the house to tell the boys, like, hey, if we lose power, I'll come right back in and everything, just do not be scared. Kristen's at work, so she's making that money.
There you go.
You know what's funny? Now that she's an employee of Costco, like everything that we own is all like Costco brand shit now. So
you get the the Kirtland brand,
Kirkland everything.
The Kirtland brand Meeseeks. It's a Rick and Morty thing.
I know what Mr. Meeseeks is.
Right. Kirkland? So there's a Kirtland brand Mr. Meeseeks.
That's hilarious.
And he opens it. He's like, "What do you want?" It's a very substandard version of a Meeseek.
There's a brand of like undergarments that they sell there called 32 Degrees. That they sell like underpants, undershirts to like they're like long sleeve to basically for like if you're like a runner or whatever, you can wear them underneath your
It's like an Under Armour
gear
thing.
Yeah, and they're awesome. And I now have like 10 pairs of each of shirts and pants. Same with their underwear. I have their 32 Degrees boxer briefs because I love them. They're very comfortable. They're like silky. And I told Kristen, buy them all.
It's here's the problem. My Costco experience is limited to like when I was out in the Seattle area. Like we had a membership when I was out there.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 3 months out there and we exclusively shopped at Costco for basically everything.
Yeah.
And when we came back to the States, like we're overseas, when we came back to fucking the East Coast, and they hadn't yet built the Costco that's on 38. So Costco was like, oh, where is it? So they built the one on 38 and it's just too far.
Well, they opened one in Cherry Hill. That's
right.
The one where Kristen works.
So it's closer, but not close enough where we could exclusively, because we have a Sam's Club Like I can hit a solid 7-iron across the creek to the fucking Sam's Club.
All right,
that's
fair.
And unfortunately, it's too fucking close. Now, if Sam's Club or a Costco popped up in fucking Deptford, where I can just kind of shoot around the corner, I'm in.
And I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm in there like somewhere
someday. So.
I'm hoping. Here's hoping.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, do you need to?
No, I'm good.
All right.
If anything, do you have ice in that bag, or are you using a cooler thing?
No. You want me to go get you more ice? I can go get more ice.
Go get more ice. Right. I'm gonna have a little bit of Keith Lehman's drinky drink.
Oh, nice. So I'll entertain the folks while I'm gone.
That's what we do here. 5 months old, a pup in the snow. Dogs in the snow. It's pretty awesome. Dogs and will indeed do that. No joke. When I did tech support, or I'm going to put this on the screen. I called for Tennessee during the holidays. Said that I'm soon headed for Pennsylvania. I'm just going to be eating some pumpkin pie. Excuse me. I don't get the context. I'm sorry. Holly. Yep. Okay. It's a problem with having a dog named Holly. You want to fucking
Jones barbecue foot massage. Okay.
Fucking great.
Get my notes back up. Talk some Mando. I got a little bit of handwritten notes here today.
Nice.
We good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, give me a countdown. And we're back. So, Mandalorian. Before we even get into chapters 12 and 13,
okay,
I love the memes. There's so many memes out there right now about just how Mandalorian has, I wouldn't say saved Star Wars, but how it is Star Wars.
It is Star
now.
Wars. Oh, absolutely.
And I gotta say, this whole season, there was a couple of not bad episodes, but just kind of slow, just okay episodes. But throughout the course of this season, like, this is fucking Star Wars. We talked about it, the production quality in these fucking episodes, all of the fucking reach backs to all of the different Star Wars.
You wanted to say reach around, didn't you?
I did. But it's just this is Star Wars now.
Yeah, it is.
And it's good. It's really, really good.
What I like the most, the absolute most, is that Kathy and I, we've been, she's gotten into it. So we started season 2 and season 2, episode 1, and rewatching it with her and knowing that the Star Wars is trickling in more and more.
Yeah.
And to the point where we get to episode 13 or chapter 13 rather, where it's like, holy fuck, Star Wars! Like, this is about to get real. This is about to get Star Wars, right? Up until this point, it's been like it's been the Baby Yoda show, but we're about to turn a Baby Yoda show into some fucking legit, like, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Not that it hasn't been up to this point, but we have all these things fucking starting to come together.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It has been. It's been so fucking enjoyable to watch. And yeah, Disney Plus would be nothing right now. Nothing.
Yeah.
Without fucking The Mandalorian.
Yeah, allegedly, like, it's the most popular thing on Disney Plus, far and away.
I think I saw something on Reddit. It's like something like 23% of Disney Plus's viewership is The Mandalorian.
Yeah. So,
which is insane.
Yeah. So there's no fucking wonder that they're putting all of this money into it. And again, you can throw all the money you want at something for effects and everything else, but if your story is garbage, then it's still gonna suck.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, episode 1. You know,
Yeah.
if your story and your dialogue and your acting is terrible, it's still gonna look like a piece of shit, even if you pretty it up with all the fucking fancy, computer graphics and everything else. And they found a great balance with Mandalorian.
Yeah, I agree. And they've given us in these 2 episodes that we're going to get ready to talk about with chapter 12 and 13, they've given us almost like they pulled it back to like, okay, let's give you CGI that you would have saw if you were watching this in 1980.
Right.
Some of the pulling back and with the speeder coming across the sand, you get this impression like you're watching an older Star Wars movie. It's not the, hey, here's the CGI that we could do today. It's hey, this is the CGI that you would have seen in Star Wars.
Right. It gives it that tangible feel like we had in the originals when they had all those practical effects. Yes, most of what we're seeing in The Mandalorian is probably CGI, but they're giving it that practical effect feel. They're not going fucking ape shit with the CG and everything else. They're keeping it modest.
They're keeping it modest. And the best thing that they do, the thing that's going to keep this fucking money train rolling, is having the fucking child, Baby Yoda, name to be announced soon, is putting him in certain scenes, just showing up and making a fucking facial expression, fucking with the hair, the ears blowing back like he's fucking a dog out the window, all that type of shit. Like, yes, keep doing that.
Yes,
because that's what's keeping people like my wife into the show. Like, she needs to see Baby Yoda, and she needs to see Baby Yoda doing cute shit while we fucking get huge, giant erections for the fucking Star Wars shit that we know is about to happen.
Right. And I want to touch back on that at the end of this episode. How they may be just going a little bit too far when it comes to the Star Wars references and potentially alienating these casual viewers. But we'll touch on that towards the end.
Fucking casuals.
I know. So, chapter 12. Let's talk about this really quick. Directed by Apollo Creed himself, Carl motherfucking Weathers.
That's right.
So I didn't even realize, and I don't think that they announced this stuff ahead of time.
They didn't. I saw it at the end. For me, it was that, directed by fucking Carl Weathers. I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah,
he got to do one.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
Which I had no idea he had any kind of aspirations to do any kind of directing, but fuck it, you know. And it was a good episode.
It was a good episode.
So,
because there was a lot of bits and pieces that are important to talk about in chapter 12.
Yes, and this is one of those things where, like I said, so I just got a text from my mother, kind of reaching back to my week.
Yeah.
My brother, I said I wasn't sure how old he was. He's 37.
In a row?
Try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot. So happy 37th, Joe.
Yeah, there you go. Cheers.
Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
You were talking about Carl Weathers directing and
getting into
a note.
Yep. So, I mean, I kind of want to just, really quickly get through chapter 12 because 13 is where the fucking meat is. So, Mando and Baby Yoda, they're trying to get to the planet where Ahsoka is. Obviously, the fucking Razor Crest is beat to fucking shit. We talked about this the last episode. This ship has seen some things.
Yes, it has. It's seen it. It probably smells a little fishy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, the fish smell doesn't bother me, but fuck, did I just say that?
You did.
Okay. So anyway,
it's not an all things Star Wars podcast without some depravity. I mean, honestly,
that's how we roll. So yeah, obviously they're limping through the fucking galaxy.
Right.
He's like, fuck, we got to stop and see some friends. We got to call in some favors basically, because there's no fucking way we're going to make it to whatever the name of the fucking planet is. Corvus. On our own. So we stop and we see our good friends, Cara Dune and Grief Carlson, whatever Apollo Creed's
name it's Apollo Creed. Let's just go with it.
Yeah, so he's going to go see Cara Dune and Apollo Creed. Rolls in. First of all, Cara Dune is now the marshal of Navarro.
Right. So here's where directing. All right, here I'm going to direct an MMA fighter. Okay. Scene 1. You're going to see. Okay, you're going to be looking all cute and shit. And then you're going to go in and you're going to fucking beat the piss out of a bunch of fucking, The fucking
I don't know what that species is called.
it's fuck, I can't remember because he's the one of us that lost his fucking arm in the.
Yeah, I don't remember what their species is.
Anyway, bunch of butt faces.
Yeah.
She goes and kicks ass with a bunch of butt faces because they're in the armorer's fucking area.
Yeah, on Navarro, where the armor from the Mandalorian clan was.
So if you're directing an MMA fighter, like, okay, go in there and just kick their ass.
Yeah.
Go.
And that's what she did. Oh my gosh, she did so many cool moves too in that episode. Where there was the dude on the ground, she fucking flipped over onto him, grabbed him, and rolled into like a fireman's carry to use him as a shield as some dude was like trying to shoot her in the fucking back, and then she fucking like threw his body onto somebody else.
It's fucking awesome. If you don't have just a giant throbbing erection watching this fucking hot broad just beat the piss out of people, there's something wrong.
My second note for this episode: Marshall Cara Dune, I'm in love all over again. So Cara Dune once again has won my heart.
Yes.
So yeah.
The rest of the episode is kind of meh until they get to the fucking lab. Can we just fast forward to the fucking lab?
Sure, yeah. Long story short, Imperials are still on Navarro,
right?
And Apollo Creed wants to get rid of them for good. This is what Mando gets or has to do to make up for the repairs they're about to do to the Razor Crest.
Yeah, he will suck dick for fucking repairs to the Razor Crest.
Indeed. And so they get to the Imperial compound or whatever that's on Navarro, which we knew that's where Moff Gideon was.
Yes.
And the fucking scientist guys that are in the Camino fucking looking outfits.
Right.
The clone outfits. We get a transmission from the scientist from the first season, the guy who actually showed some empathy towards Baby Yoda. And this was the thing that had everybody talking, was this transmission, because he's sending a message to Moff Gideon like, hey, these volunteers or whatever they were calling them are not taking well to the blood transfusions.
Right.
And also when Mando walked into the fucking lab, you could see a silhouette of something in like a fucking test tube.
Yeah, so I was trying to bring something up so that we could put it on the screen and talk about it, and because I failed to provide my own screenshots, and of course there's none coming up in a quick search, but there's a screenshot that somebody took where the figure, when I first saw it, it kind of looked like a Yoda to me. It kind of looked like Yoda in his robes, like kind of curled up.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that.
So but upon rewatching and seeing this screenshot, it looks more like there's people that are talking about it being like a Snoke figure.
Yes.
And if you watch it and you look at the screenshot, and then once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it, where it's like, oh man, that really does look like something like a Snoke figure.
Yeah.
Which totally makes sense, right? Because we know how they're going to basically fucking reinvigorate Palpatine, right? They're going to fucking take a bunch of clone bodies and fucking pour a bunch of juice into them.
Yeah, until one of them works.
Put a bunch of force juice into them so one of them works. And the comment the scientist makes about the child not having basically the blood capacity.
Right, because that's what they're doing. They were taking blood from Baby Yoda and injecting it into, and he mentions an M count too, because he has the highest M count of any being that we've ever seen.
Right. So again, we
know. We know exactly where they're going with that.
But it's subtle. It's subtle. I like that. I like that it's subtle.
Because they know if they say midichlorians, half the people are going to be like,
yes!
We're gonna be like fucking Leatherface, like at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, swinging the chainsaw around at the end. But yeah, so, and he talks about how they're basically injecting the blood of fucking Baby Yoda into these volunteers, which is probably these fucking test tube guys.
Right.
And
not going well.
Yeah.
It's like, here's this idea. We have these clones. They're not force sensitive. We're going to take force sensitive blood, put it into this body, and that this body would somehow become now force sensitive.
Right. So that's essentially it. It seems like that's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to create force-sensitive beings,
right?
As opposed to just finding natural ones in the wild. They're like, fuck this. We need force-sensitive people now, so we'll just use this fucking blood. Call it good.
So all right, huge revelation, right? You're kind of looking at it going like, holy fuck. Now we're starting to see some Jenga pieces move around a little bit, right? And then we fast forward to did you know, like straight away when fucking they land a Razor Crest and one of those fucking squirrely repair guys?
Oh yeah,
you knew right away like he's gonna like, oh, this guy's gonna do something. He's gonna put something in the Razor Crest.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna.
He had a very obvious kind of like sideways look.
Oh, nobody can track this ship like until the fucking numbnuts here goes and puts some fucking tracking device on there.
Yeah,
and of course, Mandalorian's not gonna be looking for it because he trusts people because he's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot, dude. Continually, this motherfucker walks into a fight and gets his ass kicked constantly.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
he doesn't know any better. Just like, all right, I'm gonna walk into this fight, and I'm undoubtedly gonna get my ass kicked.
Yeah, although he had some really good moments in chapter 13, which we'll get to.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, so we had a really good moment. First of all, what's his name? Fucking Horatio Sands returns as that fucking guild dude. I can't remember his name. It's really irrelevant. Mithril or some shit like that.
Right.
We had a moment where they're in the Imperial base, and it's one of those same fucking structures like the tractor beam from A New Hope that fucking Obi-Wan goes across, and he's like, there's no guardrails.
There's no railing.
And there's like articles out there now that are like, oh, and the Mandalorian cleared up an old thing from the original movie. It's
If only had a railing right here.
Yeah. See, the Empire doesn't give a shit about. There is no OSHA in the Empire.
No, I
they
mean,
don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're saving that material. Whatever material they could be using to make guardrails. No, we need that for.
Well, yeah, because they have to build fucking planet-sized death guns. So
big boob nipple guns.
Yeah, so they have to, scrimp on the materials any chance they get. So many good callbacks in this too, like the speeder that they use to drive up to the base, like you mentioned. It looks and sounds very similar to Luke's speeder from A New Hope. Obviously it's a little bit different, slightly different model, but it's probably the same speeder manufacturers and everything else.
Right.
We get a great action sequence as they're leaving the fucking base, where first it's the speeder bikes, right? The fucking scout troopers on the speeder bikes, just like Return of the Jedi on fucking Endor, same sounds and everything, which is fucking awesome. Then it moves to a fucking TIE fight where the TIE fighters are now attacking them as they're trying to
giant throbbing erection. I honestly, I am weak. I am weak in that regard. Like when there's a TIE fighter on screen, especially when they're showing like the in cockpit, like when he's fucking flying, you have the level of detail that they have now with the scenery that's flying around, because they're doing all this ground-based fighting. So like when they're flying and you're seeing like sky stuff drift through the viewports in the top TIE, I'm eating it up. I love it. I fucking love it.
It's good shit.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, and again, that's the production quality that they're putting into the show, because they could have very easily scrimped on the fucking budget of this show.
Sure,
it could have looked and sounded like shit. But they're being completely authentic, completely realistic.
I know.
Beautiful.
I know.
And then we get the scene at the end where fucking Mando shows up in the recently rebuilt Razor Crest to save them from the fucking TIE fighters. It was a really good dogfighting scene too.
Yeah.
And then of course you get your Baby Yoda moments, like you mentioned, for the casuals, where he's sitting there eating fucking cookies.
Yeah.
And
the cookies that he stole, the cookies that he stole from the kids in the fucking school.
Yeah.
Right. This fucking kid, he yoink, fucking pulls the cookies from the kid.
Which, by the way, that whole school scene full of Star Wars nostalgia between the protocol droid who is teaching them, talking about all kinds of shit from like the Kessel Run, and like if you listen to what she's saying and what she's teaching, it's all shit from like Solo.
Yeah,
and
and even the screen that she's using, it looks like they took it right out of the fucking like one of the command centers in fucking Hoth.
Yeah,
these big maps. Yeah, it's fucking again. You're going to talk about it here in a little bit, but as they keep giving us Star Wars, they haven't breached that yet. They haven't breached that level where the casuals are starting to fucking drift.
Right.
At least not in episode 12.
No, not at all. Yeah, no, because this was an action episode. Is what it was. This was full of action with a couple of good plot points mixed in.
Yep.
But for the most part, it was just like, beat to beat, going from Cara Dune kicking ass to them fucking hitting this Imperial base to them trying to escape the Imperial base to the fucking dogfight.
Like, if Carl Weathers, if you're Apollo Creed and you want to fucking put your stamp on a fucking episode, this is one of the good ones.
Yeah.
And then you have the next pop that's going to have to come out is Baby Yoda with fucking spit up.
Oh, and they're going to do
Baby Yoda spit up. It has to happen. Make it happen, Funko. It's got to.
At a minimum, with the fucking bag of cookies. Maybe not the spit up, but I'm sure.
No, it has to be the spit up. It has to have the bright blue fucking spit up.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Kathy to see that, because it's going to be like, she's going to be bored with the fucking dogfighting, everything else. And you're gonna have the fucking the baby flying and doing inverted and fucking hitting the brakes. They're gonna fly right by, and also the shit, and then also like any normal person
would. I was gonna say, if you have kids and you've put them in car seats and ridden it around in the car for any length of time, that's probably happened to you. So a lot of us can relate.
Yeah, God, or being a fucking thunderstorm and the awful airplane bouncing around.
That too. Yeah. Oh God, I have a story. Oh my God. Very, very briefly, sidebar. All three kids, we landed in California. It was hot, it was humid, and it was bumpy coming in.
Right.
We finally land in LA because we're going out to California to visit my family. We're taxiing, and all three kids threw up simultaneously. This was like 3 California visits ago.
Wow.
Yeah. That's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, good shit. So anyway, moving on. The last scene in chapter 12 was Gideon talking to his fucking, his Imperial bitch, and she's like, yeah, we put the tracking beacon on the fucking Razor Crest and all that.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, we will come for them, ha ha ha, or whatever.
We're ready.
Whatever devious thing he says. And then it pans out and you see these fucking, nobody really knows what they are yet. Be it like death troopers, death droids. There's a lot of theories, a lot of tie-ins to Legends material, like what these black armored things are that are lined up in this hallway.
So it's funny. It's the damn. I thought I put the picture in here and I didn't. I'm an idiot. I got a good screenshot of that.
Yeah.
And oh no, you know what? I tried to get a screenshot of that, and Disney Plus doesn't let you fucking screenshot off your phone.
Ah, fuck.
They don't. I go back and I'm like, oh, I want to look at it. It's all blank screen. So you had to fucking look at the full screen, but they look a lot like Death Troopers.
Yeah.
And there's series, like I think you initially had said you thought about Inquisitor.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Like, tie it in with the Baby Yoda blood and everything else. It seems like they're trying to make the next line of Inquisitors.
Right, but that would be a lot of Inquisitors, though. I mean, there were, because those racks of fucking armor came back.
Oh yeah, there was at least a dozen, probably like 20.
But I mean, if we sidebar a moment into like Star Wars, like out there in the real Star Wars world, we know that there's technology that existed that Palpatine sent out his fucking representatives out to the Empire that fucking they basically showed up, like talking about like in Battlefront when you have the red fucking, I can't think of the name.
Oh, the robot that has the Palpatine face.
Right. Like it had the representation. Like it basically showed up.
What were those called?
Chat, help.
We talked about those so much
in
the early days of the podcast.
Yeah, because it was represented in the video game when fucking Battlefront 2 came out. It was
in the comics.
It was in the comics. It was in the books.
Yeah.
It was in the books. So the messengers? No.
That sounds right.
We'll go with it.
Yeah.
But regardless, you know what we're talking about.
Yes.
And we're trying to say. But so the idea that there's this ample supply of some sort of cannon fodder, whether it be like in a Death Trooper type armor or some sort of cloning that could be potentially happening, like the cloning that could have been happening for the Emperor. Maybe they were like, okay, we're not doing it for Force sensitive users. We're just creating more clones.
Yeah,
all these things can happening. And oh, by the way, we're not that far away from an episode where we fucking saw Boba Fett.
Yeah,
like fucking the OG clone, right? So the idea that fucking cloning could be happening to basically regenerate their troop strength. Because how many conscripted fucking stormtroopers are still existing in the world that are still hanging on for dear life with the Empire? We see as they get fucking closer, and the closer you are to Moff Gideon, the more fucking normalized like the stormtroopers are. They're not like they were with the dude we saw in episode in chapter 1, where you see these stormtroopers that obviously they've seen better fucking days.
Yes.
Now, as the closer you get to Moff Gideon, to like what the Empire is, you're seeing it is a more dedicated, normalized Empire,
right?
Type force.
And I'm curious. I'm assuming we're eventually going to see that link to the First Order. Like we have to. That has to be what Gideon and this Empire remnant that we're seeing in the Mandalorian has got to be building towards. They've got to be the representation that the First Order still has in the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah.
Right? While the First Order is out fucking around, like pillaging planets and stealing all their children.
Yeah, because you have the entire playbook that's out there with Aftermath. That here's this concurrence of this part of the story, and with Sloane, at some point, all this shit exists out there in the same timeline. So we're at some point there's got to be some sort of convergence. I would agree.
Right
now, how they're going to do that, I don't know.
But I feel like these might be those first seeds that are planted for that. Like I really feel like this might have something to do with the origins of Snoke. It's got to be.
Or if nothing else, it gives us an idea that, hey, this is the technology they were working on that made the Snokes that you see in fucking Rise of Skywalker.
True. Yeah.
Because, again, it's the same feel, right? It's the same feel as Rise of Skywalker, where you got this basically fucking test tube babies of Snokes in some form or fashion.
Yeah, which is weird, but whatever.
The Sentinel is what they're saying in the chat.
Okay, and then Bronco Fett's mentioning, like, when did Bloodline occur?
Bloodline was...
I think that was a few years before Force Awakens.
It was, because that's when she was going to run for... Basically, she was going to replace Mon Mothma.
Oh, no, wait, the Bloodline. I was confusing it with the Phasma book.
No,
Bloodline's the Leia book.
Yes, where they fucking... That crooked politician says, by the way, she's Darth Vader's fucking daughter.
Yeah.
Like, that's Bloodline. I thought that was a few years after...
I feel like that was about 8 years after Return of the Jedi, which I think that's pretty much where Mandalorian is right now, honestly.
Mandalorian is like 9 to 10 years after
after Jedi?
After Jedi.
Okay. We got to look at a timeline here. So.
Yeah. I looked at when I first watched this episode for chapter 12, because we haven't even gotten to 13 yet.
Yeah. But there's a lot to talk about.
That's way too fucking complicated. I mean, there's a lot of timelines out there.
Yeah.
Thank you, internet. And this one doesn't have the books. Fuck you, internet. Anyway, regardless of all that, I think what we're seeing in chapter 12 is we're seeing that Favreau and Filoni have this. They do not have a fear of letting us Star Wars nerds know that there's going to be convergence at some point.
Yeah.
Like your theory about ultimately seeing Luke, that got some groundswell after chapter 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't think it's going to happen. But the reality is that, like, Favreau is like, we're not afraid.
Yeah.
We're not afraid. We're not afraid to fucking bring Ahsoka Tano back into the real.
Yep.
We're not afraid to do these things. It's not appeasement. This is, I think, the best thing about The Mandalorian. This isn't appeasement to Star Wars fans. This is good writing that's incorporating what we love into it.
Yeah.
And feeding it, as opposed to just fucking making us happy, which is kind of what we got with the movies.
Yeah.
With Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, especially Rise of Skywalker and Force Awakens for that matter. It was a lot of fan service, which I'm not complaining about. But at the same time, Mandalorian is a much deeper story. And speaking of Ahsoka, let's jump right into chapter 13.
Let's do it.
So we even said after chapter 12, I think this was in the after show last week, talking about when are we actually going to see Ahsoka, right? I know my theory was, we're not going to see her until towards the end of this fucking season. You know, they're teasing her now, but it's going to be a thing where they keep dragging it out. Our princess is in another castle. You know, we'll see her towards the end. Chapter 13 starts right out the fucking gate. We see Ahsoka. So Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka finally confirmed.
Yep.
First minute of this fucking episode.
That's right. I think I put in a notes like, wonder if we see Ahsoka 1 second later. Yep.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah. Which was fucking awesome. Her dual white lightsabers. Now, we got to take a step back too, because we did Rebels for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we saw Ahsoka in the current timeline was at the end of Rebels, which took place like right around like a few months after Return of the Jedi, where Ahsoka and fucking Sabine decided, like, we got to go find fucking Ezra. Because if you remember, Ezra and Thrawn got scooped up by the fucking space whales and just whoop, went into fucking deep space. No fucking clue where they went, right? So Ahsoka and Sabine are like, we got to go find these two. Sabine being a Mandalorian, which we haven't seen her yet,
right?
But
that's a very good point.
Yeah,
like I mean, I thought in chapter 11 that we might have seen Sabine when we saw the other Mandalorians,
Bo-Katan,
yeah,
and her crew, yeah. No sign of Sabine yet though. So, but yeah, right out the gate, we go to this fucking planet. What planet did you say it was that she was on?
I said it earlier.
You did say it earlier.
I shot my load on that one.
Sad.
It begins with a C.
Corvus.
The other C word, Jason.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. So, and right out the gate, fucking Ahsoka is kicking fucking ass. Right. These assholes that are part of this. I don't even know. It's not even a city. It's like a real small commune,
right,
on this fucking planet. That's surrounded by just desolation,
right? Because the broad that is running this show, the magistrate, is basically what she does is she fucking strips planets for resources to build Imperial warships. Yeah, which that's the Empire's MO, right? We've established this. Yeah, like, hey, we're gonna use this fucking thing for all it's worth, and then we're gonna fucking leave it for dead. Yeah, we're like locusts. We just move from planet to planet, right? Fucking just expending all of your natural resources. It's our Independence Day. Yeah, and then we move on. Jumping back real quick, I actually found a really good timeline on Reddit. Thank you, Reddit. So Bloodline. The Mandalorian is 9 ABY, so that's 9 ABY after the Battle of Yavin, right, which would be 4 years after Return of the Jedi? 5 years. 5 years. Okay. According to this timeline. Okay. Bloodline is 28 ABY. So significantly in the future. Wow. Huh. Okay. Because according to this, you have Force Awakens is 34 ABY. Okay. So leading into that, you have, you have Bloodline, you have the Resistance. How you doing? You have Phasma, which we covered. Then you have Force Awakens, and then it goes from there. Okay, so you're talking about a span of 25 years. Yeah. So Mandalorian is pretty early in that timeline. Mm-hmm. Which, you know what? It makes sense. 9 ABY. The Emperor is fallen into the fucking, tossed into the fucking giant pit of justice. Yep. And so you would imagine it would take a good amount of time for an Imperial remnant to fucking get their shit together, start trying to figure out, all right, how do we get back to this? Like, the Emperor gave his orders, right? Yeah. So how do we, again, Palpatine pulling the strings from wherever he is and whatever state he's in. He's pulling these strings to make sure that everything starts coming together. You have Aftermath is 5 ABY. So this is Aftermath, and that trilogy, that book trilogy, happens 4 years before the Mandalorian. Yeah. So all these things are like, there's kind of this groundswell of like what, big thing. My takeaways for Aftermath, right, is you have Imperials that were like kind of meeting in secret. They're like trying to like, all right, we're going to consolidate this group, and then this infighting is going to happen between these people and all other shit. But getting a few years later, having somebody like Moff Gideon being so involved in it kind of makes sense.
True, and this is also after the rest of the Empire is fucked off. They're like, all right, we're following the Emperor's plans. We're going into the unknown regions.
Right. Well, we don't know that this isn't part of the Emperor's plan.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It has to be. Yeah. It has to be. Fucking, how does Moff Gideon show up with the fucking with the Darksaber?
Oh yeah,
right. It has to be part of that fucking some Palpatine stream of consciousness.
And that's what I was saying before. Like, there's got to be some tie between Moff Gideon and his little fucking clan that's still left over, and the First Order that's out in the unknown regions, fucking pillaging planets and doing whatever,
stealing kids.
So, all right, let's pivot back to chapter 13, and let's talk about Ahsoka. Okay, so Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. Let's talk about her performance. How you feel that compares to the Ashley Eckstein performance in both Clone Wars and Rebels, and really, how do you think Rosario did as Ahsoka in this?
I think she did great. I think the only hang up I had with Rosario was I thought her tits should be bigger.
I mean,
that's legitimately the only issue I had. Like, I think they, with the makeup, the skin tone, everything else, they did a great job. I know that on Reddit they were talking about how the Leiku should have been like a little bit bigger because it was bigger in Rebels, like how it was represented, but proportionally to like a human actor in this, not some animation, I think it was perfect.
Yeah,
I think the fight sequences, like with the lightsaber, and I think she did a great job, and they got the right person for it. Like, just her facial structure was even right there. This is why she had always been mentioned about portraying this part,
and that's how she got the role. Was a fan had fucking tweeted Rosario Dawson like, "Hey, I think you would be great as a live action version of Ahsoka." Rosario Dawson retweets it.
Yeah,
it gets back to somebody at fucking Lucasfilm, and now she's cast as fucking live action Ahsoka.
Sidebarception. I watched this on Friday, right? Friday day.
Mm-hmm.
Friday afternoon, I guess. And so I just happened to be on the internet, and it was because of the holiday weekend, like kind of you forget what day it is. So I kind of had forgotten.
Oh yeah, no, this happened to me too.
So I was looking at something, and I saw Kevin Smith had posted something on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, I saw my girl Rosario as Ahsoka." I'm like, "Oh no!
Let's take this a little bit further. No fucking shame out there at all. Friday afternoon, right? I didn't watch it because Kristen and I watched Mandalorian together. She worked on Friday.
Right.
So we decided Friday night we'll watch Mandalorian. Fucking these idiots on these fucking clickbaity websites in my Google News feed, like, "Oh, what do you think about the mention of Thrawn in the new episode of Mandalorian?" I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You're putting that in the goddamn title of the fucking article?
Yeah.
So it's like, you fucking pieces of shit.
Why? What is the propensity to want to be like?
It's like, look how much smarter I am than everybody else. I'm giving out spoilers on Friday morning.
Look at how I can do it first. Like, I said this first. Like, I don't.
It's like, motherfucker, we're not all staying up until midnight on fucking Thursday night to watch these goddamn episodes. Right.
It's you just can't. You can't fucking do it. Like, you know, I know Selsky did for the first fucking episode or whatever, but I mistakenly, because usually I'll stay off of social media entirely until I watch it. That way I know I'm not getting spoiled. And here's what I'm happy about. I'm happy about our crew in the cantina. After we
made the declaration.
Yes, the declaration was made, so that and it held true. So I appreciate everyone in the Sidebar Cantina for upholding that and waiting diligently until Sunday morning at 8 p.m.
Yes, and I know some people are like, they got their red face in their fuck. I want to talk about it so bad.
8 a.m. Eastern time in the Sidebar Cantina is when the floodgates are released, and I appreciate that from the cantina. But see. What's cool about the Kevin Smith leak, though, and, you know, I don't blame Kevin Smith for this because he's been one of those people that is...
Yeah, he probably stayed up until 3 a.m. to watch
and Rosario Dawson is one of his people. Like, Kevin Smith has his people, right? And Rosario Dawson is one of those people.
Right, and you want to, again, sidebar, you want to talk about the rack that Rosario Dawson has, watch Clerks 2.
Oh, yeah.
like the tight shirt she wears and everything else.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Why else would you watch Clerks 2? Besides like all the movie references and Rosario Dawson. Yes.
And even like when you go ass to mouth.
And a gratuitous fucking Star Wars sequence in there too. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of how Kevin Smith kind of spoiled it for me that we're going to see Ahsoka and we're going to see Ahsoka as Rosario Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I can't be mad at Kevin Smith because it's one of his people.
But even then, like none of us could have expected, like, again, a minute into the fucking episode, she's there kicking ass with her fucking dual sabers.
Yeah.
So, and just to kind of pivot back to what I was asking you before, I agree that I think Rosario nailed it with this performance.
Yeah.
There was a point, like that first dialogue she was having with the fucking magistrate, right? Where she's like standing outside the gates and they're talking to each other. I'm like, is that Ashley Eckstein like dubbing the voice over like her? And I'm listening. I'm like, no. That is Rosario Dawson, but
right. But
she even nailed the voice.
Yeah, she changed, like she made particular inflection in her voice to be accurate to the character.
Right. So she probably went back and researched.
Oh fuck
Listen to the Ashley Eckstein performance.
She's probably been doing it for years, trying to get ready for that. I mean,
right.
if she's a self-declared fucking Star Wars nerd, and you can bet your fucking damn ass that she's been watching this shit to be ready to do something like that. Like how if I'm going to be Ahsoka, how am I going to act? Like
right.
Because
that bar's already been set.
How am I going to stand with my fucking, kind of standing in a certain way? And and we're late to the game with Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, and Rebels for that matter.
Well, yeah, but at least we were closer with Rebels, I think, than because we made it a point to fucking not watch Clone Wars.
Yeah,
after a couple seasons, we're not gonna lie. Kind of like Republic Commando.
Well, that's George's fault, really, for making such a shitty show in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning.
We digress.
But so we were late to the game with understanding the Ahsoka character because there was a lot of Ahsoka hate out in the very beginning, like the early days of Snips.
Oh, I was one of them.
That was fucking. This is horrific.
Oh, I hated her,
and now
I absolutely hated that character.
And now she's one of the most fucking beloved characters in our Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
and I think. I'm with Big Swede because I went immediately after I know he watched it. I said, hey, what did you think? And he's like, he liked what was going on with Rosario Dawson. He's a little bummed that Ashley Eckstein's not involved, but Rosario did a good job.
Yeah, and Ashley Eckstein actually mentioned it too. Like she went on social media like yesterday, I think, and she was classy about it. She's a professional. She knows what she's doing. So
yeah, and look, we all know who gave Ahsoka that voice.
Yeah.
Like we know. And I think that it was appropriate to use Rosario Dawson's voice. If she could, I bet you if she couldn't have made it, if she couldn't have done the inflection or anything else, they're just going to use her body. They would have figured out how to dub over it. Right. I mean, it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Dub over. Most of the shit's dubbed over.
I mean,
otherwise, this would be a British fucking movie series.
Right. We go back to David Prowse, right?
Yes.
If you watch that early footage of David Prowse delivering the Darth Vader lines, it's like
heavy Scottish.
"Oh, hey, princess, we know you've got the plans to the Death Star."
Yeah, I love the going back to that, the memes that were out there, like, oh, David Prowse is so upset that they fucking dubbed over him. Like,
are you though?
Are you like? Did you really think that this was going to leave? Like, no. Yeah. I'm sure that your success as Darth Vader pinged a lot on fucking James Earl Jones's voice, and if nothing else, I'm sure he appreciated it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ahsoka.
Going back to the episode, another note I have is once again the production quality off the fucking chain in this episode.
Yeah.
Even though the planet itself is just like this desolate wasteland, still looks phenomenal. Kristen made a point as we were watching it after fucking Mando and Baby Yoda landed on the planet, and it's just these dead trees and these big fucking beasts just wandering in the background. She's like, "Oh, that looks so cool." I'm like, yeah, it fucking is awesome. So
I 100% agree. It's the what you worry about the most with something like this. Like, can you sustain that? We kind of said it in the beginning, like, is this sustainable?
Yeah.
And yet they're still continuing to give us, and if not giving us, raising the bar to what we can expect for the fucking production quality in this.
Yeah.
I will never cease to be blown away by how they were able to pull this off.
Yeah. And long story short, Mando goes to the town. They offer him a pretty substantial reward to kill Ahsoka.
Right.
Even though we knew in the back of our minds he was never going to.
This is what I thought, right? He goes in there and he starts fucking rousting townspeople, right? It's like, hey, I try and get information, whatever, right? And nobody's talking to him because the way the magistrate's set up.
Yeah,
right?
They've got it all locked down.
Yeah, they fucking put you on a pike basically with a fucking electric choke collar on you.
Yeah, really fucking dark.
Yeah,
honestly,
fucking hell. So the fact that like basically old girl grabs him, right? The magistrate, and it's like, all right, you're gonna come here, and she's like, oh, I have a job for you. Like, you need to kill this fucking Jedi that you know is on the planet you're tracking. You're like, okay, that worked out.
Yeah.
Like, sure, absolutely. I will take your fucking staff of Ra.
Well, yeah, and she offered him the Beskar fucking spear.
Yeah.
So
which had like the idea of the tuning fork. Like he hits the other Beskar, like, oh wow, a Beskar.
And
like,
it sounded awesome.
It was I love that whole sequence with the magistrate and him initially, because he's like, in his brain, he's like, this is fucking working out great. I don't have to search. They gave me the fucking coordinates.
Yeah.
I don't have to peel the planet apart.
Yeah, I don't have to tell them now that I'm looking for a Jedi. Right. They're just telling me where she is.
Yeah, cool. And then we'll fucking work it out from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part of all this, is that Mandalorian can roll into a town. It's why the fucking episode with the Boba Fett armor works out so well. Like, he has nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like, I can take this armor from you, or I could feel better about myself and help the townspeople fucking work this out.
Right.
And then he just like fucking works it out, gets his ass kicked as per usual a little bit. But, the Mandalorian is in this great spot where it's like, all right, I find this Jedi. If it doesn't work out, well, fuck it. I'll go find the next lead.
Right.
Do whatever.
And even the fact that he's rolling around now in that full Beskar gear, like, he just walks up to the fucking gates of the town and they're like, nice armor, and he's like, yeah,
I'm Mandalorian. Look, see this? Fucking fear me.
Yeah, and it immediately gets him respect.
Yeah.
And they're like, we might have something for you, know? So, yeah, immediately he's in. Now, the cool scene was when he actually goes out to find Ahsoka, right? He goes out there, he's looking for her, fucking puts Baby Yoda on the rock, and she comes out of fucking nowhere. And she's swinging at him, and he's blocking her fucking sabers with that Beskar armor.
Right.
So this just kind of goes to show that ancient struggle, right, between the Mandalorians and the Jedi.
Right.
And
he even uses the term laser swords, right? He doesn't like lightsaber. Like when the Mandalorians always said like these laser swords, right? That goes back to, I think, some of the expanded universe shit, where it's like, how they describe the weapons of a Jedi. Like and they
call them sorcerers too, right? Yeah. They didn't call them Jedi, an ancient group of sorcerers known as the Jedi. So you had this very brief but very cool moment between Mando and Ahsoka where they're fighting basically, and it was a fairly neutral fight, right? You would think normally in this situation a Jedi would just be able to just fucking shit can,
right?
Whoever they were up against, but he's blocking her sabers with his fucking armor. He's like throwing the rope around her, and they're they were having this really good back and forth.
Yep.
So it seemed at that moment a very equal battle,
right? And then finally he was like, I think just when he was about to lose the edge, he's like, yo, wait,
yeah,
Bo-Katan, she sent me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it fucking chills out.
And then she looks over at Baby Yoda and she's like, oh, I hope you're here to talk about him.
Yes.
And then we get the big reveal. Like, holy shit. Over the course of the next few minutes, right? It's a lot of silence.
Right.
As Ahsoka and Baby Yoda are sitting across from each other.
Yeah, Mando pacing.
Yeah. And they're communicating through the Force and everything. And he fucking comes in. He's like, all right, so what the fuck? What's up? And she's like, oh, yeah, me and Grogu, we're just talking, right? And yeah, that's the first big reveal. Grogu, the name of the child, a.k.a. Baby Yoda, a.k.a. the cutest character ever in existence in Star Wars, now has a name. Or has always had a name.
Right.
Yeah, so Grogu is the child, is Baby Yoda.
Which is going to be tough to fucking switch over to.
It is.
I don't know that I'll ever do it fully, to be honest. But the idea that the opening, like with the name and how responsive Baby Yoda is to the name.
That was the best part of this whole sequence.
Yeah.
Was every time they said Grogu, he'd just like,
huh? Yeah, that's my name.
Yeah.
That's cool. You're saying my name. Awesome.
Yeah, which, added a whole new element of context to this. But then she talked about his origins. She mentions he was a Padawan at the fucking Jedi Temple at the same time she was, in the time before the fucking Empire.
Right.
He had Jedi instructors and everything else. And we get all of this within the span of a couple of minutes. And it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, there is a lot. It is a huge fucking fire hose of fucking Star Wars information.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Because at this point, up to now, I would have sworn he was a clone of Yoda. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have bet my fucking life savings on the fact that he was a clone of the original Yoda. But now we know that he was not. He existed at the time of the prequels.
Have you seen the Yaddle parts of this conversation?
Oh, I'm sure that she's part of it. I'm sure that people think that he's her fucking son or whatever.
Has some connection. Yeah, like I think one of the first trending items that happened, and Matt Martin, who's part of the
he's one of the story group guys.
Yeah, he's one of the keepers of the holocron.
Yeah,
and he had said something about Yaddle, and it fucking apparently it took off. It was like a trending thing on Twitter.
Well, I mean, that's a whole discussion in itself, because she was there for episode 1 and then disappeared.
Right.
Where did she go? Was she on maternity leave? Like, did Yoda fucking knock her up? He's like, oh, nice vagina you have.
Nice, whatever species of vagina you might have.
Yeah, so we don't know. We don't know who his parents are at this point. So he could be the love child of Yoda and Yaddle, for all we know.
Could, because it's 50. He's 50 years old.
Yeah.
So it's that. So think about it this way. If we're looking at the timeline, and we look at the Mandalorian as 9 ABY, and we rewind to let's talk about
find episode 1. Whereas
episode 1 is 32 BBY.
Okay, so that's before 32 plus 9 is 41.
Right. So it would have had all that would have had to come about well before any of this timeline.
Okay.
The existing canon timeline, because Master and Apprentice, it takes place in 39 BBY. So throughout the entire canon, the child has existed. The entirety of this canon.
Which is weird to think about.
It is. Yeah. And still be a baby.
Right.
But we really fucking crazy.
Right. But we know during the time of the prequel trilogy, he was at the fucking temple.
Right.
We know that now.
And we know that Yaddle was also at the temple with Yoda.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's a wrinkle. That's a wrinkle that we're going to be worried about, and maybe not so much the casuals.
No, not
but
at all.
Because the casuals don't know who the fuck Yaddle is.
Right.
They don't have any idea. And the casuals don't know. And quite frankly, they don't fucking care, because it's just another alien species to them. It's the cutest fucking thing ever. The idea that fucking Yoda, wrinkled ass fucking grumpy, goofy Yoda could be the same species as the child. Like, Yoda in this stage is weird to think about.
Yeah, you would think that if he had kids, it would have been like hundreds of years before this.
Yeah,
when he was still vibrant.
Yes. And well, I mean, you don't know. They could have had fucking Yoda Viagra at the time. You don't know.
That is true. They were very technologically advanced. So, all right, going back to the episode, we get the reveal of Grogu. We get the reveal of the fact that he was at the fucking Jedi Temple at the time of basically the Purge. All we know at this point is that he was taken away from the temple at this point, and there were some very dark times in his memories. So more than likely, he was probably like rescued initially by another Jedi. This is my theory.
Okay.
And then very quickly was discovered and then taken in by the fucking Empire, had his blood extracted for all these experiments. And blah, 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 blah.
You know what? It makes you wonder, how fucking long did they have him? How long did the Empire have the child? Like, or this, at least this element of the Empire, right? Because I doubt he would have been in the the grasp of the Empire when in its heyday.
Yeah.
Like not 9 years prior. This would have had to have happened at some stage later when, Moff Gideon probably had marching orders to fucking find Force sensitive beings and fucking basically drain
Take
their blood
yeah.
like a fucking vampire. So, and then you come across this fucking baby, and then that's what they're going to fucking do. So, yeah, I lost my train of thought on that.
Did you catch the part where Ahsoka was still having this dialogue with Mando? And she mentions, I've only known one other being like this before. It was Master Yoda.
Right.
And the fucking Yoda theme starts playing in the background.
I did not notice that.
You didn't catch that?
I didn't catch that.
Oh
man.
Oh God.
I gotta go back.
Because
I gotta go back.
She starts talking about Yoda, and you hear the Yoda theme playing in the background. Like
I think I think sometimes stuff like that just you absorb it without thinking about it. I think about now that you've mentioned, I'll go back and rewatch it, and it'll be so obvious. But I think in the moment, it's just one of those things where what Star Wars and what the John Williams score just kind of like it's just embeds itself into what you're watching, so you don't necessarily have to be cognizant of it. You just get that feeling of it.
Oh yeah, and it's like you said too, like this was like halfway through that fucking fire hose of information.
Yeah,
where she's just like rattling all this shit off, and you're just like, oh my God. But in the midst of all this, as soon as she mentions Yoda, his theme starts playing in the background.
I gotta go back.
You gotta go back and listen to that because it's fucking awesome. Erection inducing, as you would say.
Ivo G mentioned that Yoda Viagra was frog sperm mixed with metachlorian anabolics. True story.
Jesus Christ.
I love you, Ivo. This is why you're a good fit for our team.
Yeah. And then basically at this point, we have a test of Baby Yoda's or Grogu's force powers, and we see the connection between him and Mando, especially with the little fucking the ball at the end of the fucking.
Were you doing the same thing I was, where I'm like, pull the fucking knob out of your
pocket. Yeah, it was obvious. At that point.
Come on, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, and thankfully they didn't draw it out too much because he immediately is like, let me try this, and immediately fucking.
Yeah, he kind of likes this.
Yeah. So Ahsoka mentions that bond between the two of them, and she also mentions, the fear in him and the attachment and what she's seen happen in the past between fully trained Jedis and attachments that they have, and how that.
So while this is happening, the entire time, my expectation was for her to say, "I can't train him because I am no longer a Jedi."
Yeah, that's what I was expecting too. But
the entire time, and she never does it.
Yeah.
She also never says that. Like, it's one of those things where it's kind of by not saying it, like you're kind of admitting to the fact that like she's not validating anything that like he assumes that I'm a Jedi, and I'm not going to counter that by saying anything, but I'm also not going to validate it in that same regard, which is interesting. Like, why would you not use that? Why would you not be like, hey, I can't train him because I'm not a Jedi, because I renounced the Jedi Order? Is she afraid that like that would somehow do something between like her and the Mandalorian, or like that it would
potentially that could be like he's like, oh, you're not a Jedi anymore, so I don't need to deliver him to you, but these guys want to pay me in fucking Beskar spears, so clock. You know,
and he could try.
Yeah, no, but honestly, I think it was more for the simplicity of, like we said, the casual audience, which we'll get to. They end up raiding the fucking town, taking on the magistrate and her fucking hired guns. Apparently, the guy, like the dude who was with the magistrate, I guess he's is he the guy from fucking
he's the Terminator guy.
The Terminator and Alien guy.
Yeah, he's John Connor's father.
Yeah, John Connor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he boned Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Like, and then fucking fucked off and died.
Yeah, I'm looking at him
in
like
the future.
Yeah, he's not aged well, but whatever.
Hey, at least he found work doing something.
Hey,
albeit 40 years later, but
yeah,
probably more than that, right? When did fucking Terminator come out? Oh no, it's like 40 years.
Yeah, something like that.
It's 40 years since you've done relevant work. which is barely relevant. I mean, let's be honest.
I mean,
let's be honest.
I'm looking at that from the perspective of me and my age, and
right. Well, no, I'm looking at it like if you're watching Terminator and then watching Terminator 2, they're
two of the greatest movies ever. By the way,
but it's completely two flavors.
Oh yeah,
they're two completely different flavors.
Yeah, Terminator 1 is more of a horror movie.
Yeah,
Terminator 2 is an action movie,
right?
An action summer movie. So,
which we have to talk about Terminator 2 at some point for the Gen X show.
Future topic. I mean, dude, the hype surrounding Terminator 2,
just the soundtrack
in the summer of fucking 91.
The soundtrack alone.
Yeah. All right, but we digress. So they fucking roll through the town, pretty much take the town with ease. Then we get the next big reveal. Going back to what I said at the beginning, the last time we saw Ahsoka was when she was going with Sabine to try to find Ezra and Thrawn, who were taken away by the fucking space whales, right? We know Ahsoka was trying to get some kind of information from the magistrate this whole episode. She fucking gets her cornered. She's got her beaten down. She's like, tell me where Grand Admiral Thrawn is. And it's like,
oh my God.
Oh. And here's what I'm thinking this whole time. They have to be doing like an Ahsoka spinoff at this point, right? That's what it feels like that they're building towards. Some sort of an Ahsoka spinoff where we get the resolution to the end of fucking Rebels. Because that was such a big matzo ball hanging out there at the end of fucking Rebels, where it's like, fuck, where's Ezra? Where's Thrawn? Where'd these fucking whales take them?
Right.
Well, me and Sabine are gonna go find them. Fuck. You know, we haven't heard anything in years.
There's so many fucking just potential landmines here.
Yeah.
With that line of thinking. And right now, like in the chat, there's a conversation that they're having about the escape pod guys, or Don specifically, thinks that Gideon works for Thrawn.
And, I can see it.
And then,
well, we know fucking the magistrate does,
right? And IVOG is like, no, he thinks they're enemies. I would tend to believe that you have Thrawn, who he was only with the Empire for what was for the betterment of his fucking species. They established that fairly early on.
Essentially, yeah.
So to me, if Thrawn's out there and he's doing shit on his own, whatever he's trying to do to get back into power it's on him. I don't think he gives a shit about the Empire.
Yeah.
I think Gideon's over here doing what Palpatine ultimately wants him to do from the grave. And I think Thrawn's on a separate track that ultimately are going to meet at some point. Now, how does the Mandalorian fit in the middle of this? Here's Dave Martin's theory. I think that the Mandalorian is going to lose Grogu. At the end of the season, one of these fuckers is going to get Grogu.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be Gideon. And you're going to have the Mandalorian is going to have to team up with Ahsoka, Ezra, Thrawn to fucking get Grogu back.
And I mean, that's all fine and good. Like, I would love to see something like that. But this is where we get that conflict with the casual viewers, like Kristen. As we were watching this, when Ahsoka's like got fucking homegirl pinned down,
right?
And he's got homegirl pinned down, and she's like, "Where's fucking Thrawn?" And I'm like, "Oh!" And Kristen's like, "Huh?
Who's that?"
Yeah. So,
but again, if you could have other bad guy, right? Let's take the names away from it. Right. And let's have the Mandalorian who's moving on to the next thing that he's supposed to be looking for. Right. Which I even forget. As I sit here right now, I'm still in that mode of trying to figure out how Thrawn plays into the rest of this, because that's where our Star Wars nerdom goes.
Yeah.
But Mandalorian gets back on the Razor Crest and takes off for
Tython, which is another big thing that we need to talk about. But let's finish the Thrawn conversation first.
So I feel like, and you had no indication that Ahsoka was leaving that planet. Like, you would think that if she was there for a specific reason to get information from Thrawn, that she'd be like, okay, well, I'm on the next fucking ship out of here. Yeah. I half expected her to go with the Mandalorian.
Yeah, why not?
But obviously that didn't happen. I think that as we're going through these timelines, we introduce these characters to the casuals. It's just another enemy. This is a Western. There's always a bad guy. So if you go into every episode with a good guy and a bad guy, so long as the good guy wins and fucking Baby Yoda is cute, the casuals are going to be into it.
Okay.
Like I think for us, we are going to super nerd out, and we just have to fucking keep quiet so our significant others fucking will sit there and watch it with us.
Right.
But I think in reality, like however they introduce these bad guys, they're doing it in such a way. Even the Darksaber reveal.
Yeah.
So fucking big for us. So
right.
big
And
for the fucking
that was
nerds.
Another thing where I'm like, oh, and Kristen's like, what?
No idea. Just another laser sword, right?
Yeah.
You would think after that reveal that you'd start losing some of the strap hangers. No. They're fucking, so long as the Baby Yoda show is fucking continuing, then they're on board. Doesn't matter who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
So you introduce these characters to the rest of us, like Ahsoka. Okay. Every episode, Mandalorian teams up with somebody who's friendly to him.
Mm-hmm.
They do something against the bad guy. Mandalorian wins. Fuck, Baby Yoda's cute. Fucking press on to the next episode.
Yeah.
That's the formula. So you introduce Ezra into this, or you introduce Thrawn into this, which I think is where they're going. I think there's going to be some progression where if that the Mandalorian is going to run into either one or both of them.
So you think this is where we're getting the resolution to that storyline is in Mandalorian? We're getting the resolution to that huge booger that was fucking left hanging at the end of Rebels.
If Dave Filoni wasn't involved with this, I would not even think about it being a possibility.
Yeah.
If this was a J.J. Abrams joint where he was just like doing some fan service and like, hey, we're going to talk about these things because the nerds are going to get excited. We don't have that. We have the guy who fucking created this fucking storyline, who's now one of the primary people in this fucking show. I absolutely 100% think. Do I think the resolution happens this season? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They could fucking drag this on for another year.
Oh, easily.
If you do fucking 12, how many episodes did he do? Fucking 10?
It was 8, right?
Yeah. So if you're doing 8 to 10 episodes a fucking year of that Western, like fucking good guy meets up with fucking other good person. Good guy decides he's going to fucking help good people out, fucking have a montage with the fucking townspeople like it's fucking Three Amigos, and then fucking good guy wins. They ride off in the sunset with Baby Yoda's fucking ears flapping, fucking money. Pull the money truck up and keep fucking throwing money at it. And they can do that while the rest of us are watching this fucking story develop over all of this. Now, what is it going to happen as fast as if we were watching like an episode of Rebels, something like that? No, absolutely not. Because they do have to cater to some casuals.
They can't. Because if they went full ham into this, this storyline that you and I know,
right,
and that the Bronco Fets know, but like the people like Kristen and Kathy are like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, they're not going to give a shit.
Yeah. So I could see that. And I'm really curious to see, again, what I would like to see. I'd like to see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka get her own fucking series and resolve all of this stuff in their own separate individual series.
I can't see it happening though.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Because think of what let's take ourselves out for what we want for the storyline. Let's just be realistic to what Disney is doing with the product right now.
Right.
There's no inkling of having a separate series right now off of Mandalorian, right? The Cassian Andor shit is kind of still out there, like it might happen.
Well,
like there's
I think it's almost done. I think they've been filming it.
So there's some simmer for other stuff. Like if you want, I'll tell you this. I'll ask you this: if you had an Ahsoka Tano fucking storyline or a Cassian Andor storyline, which fucking one are you going to watch?
Oh, easily Ahsoka.
Yeah, fuck Cassian Andor. Fuck that dude who plays that fucking Inigo Montoya fucking character. I don't give a fuck about that dude.
Yeah.
Do not care. I am all about what's going on right now with the fucking Mandalorian post Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Anything that happens prior to that is nonsense. It's nonsense. I don't even know why you would have a fucking Cassian Andor series.
Well, we've been asking that question ever since they announced that show. It's why?
And then even an Obi-Wan series, like having an Obi-Wan series to a fucking story that we've already come to completion with. I don't need that. I don't need that, especially fucking like an untitled Obi-Wan series, 11 BBY. Don't care. Don't fucking care.
I don't disagree, but the fact that Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan is so beloved in Star Wars canon, I could see why they would go there.
You know what you get away with? You get away with one season of that. Maybe you get away with one season of that.
Well, they have to. I mean, they have to have some sort of a storyline, right? They have to be able to tell a story from beginning to end. They have to know exactly where they want to get to over the course of that series. Like, if it's just like, fuck it, we'll just do an Obi-Wan series and we'll figure it out as we go, that's going to be a disaster.
So in the timeline, when this untitled, this is kind of a sidebar warning drink for those of you who are imbibing. 11 BBY, untitled Obi-Wan Kenobi series, right? On a timeline. At the same time, you have this Lost Stars thing, which is probably some fucking, young adult novel. I don't give a shit, right? But that book goes from 11 BBY to 5 ABY. Interestingly enough. In the same spot in the timeline, you have Thrawn. The Thrawn book goes from 11 to 2 BBY.
Okay.
And then 11 BBY, you also have A New Dawn with Kanan, with...
Right. That's the backstory for Rebels.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with Obi-Wan that's going to fucking have any relevance to what we're doing? No, they put all their fucking eggs into this basket. And because Dave Filoni is fucking part of the show, I think he knows that they will continue to write checks for this show. And if it takes him 3 fucking years to do it, he's going to do it. He's going to resolve that part of what happened with Rebels. And he's going to do it in such a way. And it's going to, I have 100% full faith in what Favreau and Filoni are doing. 100%.
Oh,
sure. I would give my kidneys to that man to make sure this fucking story. He doesn't want my kidneys. My kidneys are bad. But to make this fucking story continue and make this happen, because when all right, I want you to, if you're Dave Filoni, okay, and Jon Favreau, why would you start the series? What does the Mandalorian do for the Star Wars universe that you've been so fucking involved in, that you spent all that time and all those years in Clone Wars and with Rebels, and you get involved in a fucking storyline? What do you think the end result's going to be? Is it just the general betterment of Star Wars, or is this going to occur in such a timeline that you can actually finish some of the story you wanted to tell?
Yeah, and at the same time tie it into, the sequel trilogy and everything else.
And everything else. You have this. If you're Dave Filoni, you have this unique opportunity to fucking make all this shit work. He really has to pee. So what? Then fucking go pee.
Right, I have to. I'm sorry. We'll finish this discussion and we'll talk about Tython.
Okay.
Before we finish the show, after this word from our sponsors. Oh God. Jesus Christ.
Rakia with water. Rakia. Have we had Rakia in Bolivia? Or fucking Bolivia. God damn it. Sorry, Ivo. Bulgaria. I've been to Bolivia too. I probably have. I'm not gonna lie. Like, unfortunately, here's the thing. So Jason and I spent a lot of time traveling the world. Jason, he was what we call a slam clicker. Okay, Jason would go into the fucking hotel, close the door, and you wouldn't see him until you fucking the next showtime to fucking to go to the next spot. I did not do that. My job, once we were done flying, was to fucking get drunk, find something fun to do while drunk, and then make it to the cruise show. So if I did, in fact, that does not ring any bells, but that does not mean I've been to Sofia, Bulgaria, and I've been to oh shit. We've talked about this before. the it's a town. It's on the Black Sea. It's one of the vacation spots. Shit, I can't remember. Anyway, so I've been to Bulgaria multiple times. So there's a really good chance that I probably have had it. But if I haven't, I apologize. You feel better now?
Much better. All right, give me a countdown. And go.
Oh, you want the full 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
And we're back again. So let's finish up this episode. Anything else on Ahsoka, like all of the casual versus the fan service stuff we were talking about, Filoni and finishing off the Rebel storyline?
No.
Anything else to add to any of that?
No, I think the big ticket items are Rosario Dawson did a great job.
Yeah.
I'm not disappointed in the least. And I'm intrigued about the Thrawn. How you doing?
Yeah.
I will say this though. You know, we were talking about like losing the casual viewer or anything else. I think the excitement of what Filoni can do with this series and everything else, you know, and involving Thrawn, the Thrawn Gideon like parallel
That
that's going to
dynamic
happen
there between those two.
Well, I think there's going to be parallels in the storyline, and you're going to have to like, because you look at what episode 13 was, or chapter 13 was. Chapter 13 was about basically Ahsoka, Thrawn, right? Going down that line. Chapter 12 was about Gideon.
Yeah.
And that line. I think you have two separate stories that are happening within the Mandalorian.
True. Yeah.
Don't do more. We don't need more. You can operate in between those two things, and you can hit both of those things at any given time. But I think if you start trying to do a third stream of something, I think you're going to start complicating it for us.
Yeah, and don't forget we still have Bo-Katan out there.
Right.
Like she still wants the fucking Darksaber back.
Yeah,
so...
but see, I put Bo-Katan and all that into the
Gideon storyline.
She's in the Gideon storyline, but that there's also that connection with Ahsoka. So I'm quite frankly, I'm putting it more towards the Ahsoka timeline, because while Bo-Katan is chasing Gideon, right, she hasn't had interaction with Gideon on the show.
Right. But I mean, I still feel like her storyline is much more closely tied into the storyline of the Mandalorian, of fucking Din Djarin, you know, than anything else going on in the show, right? Because at the end of the day, this is still the show about the fucking Mandalorian.
Right.
This fucking guy in the Beskar armor who's gallivanting around the galaxy, who just happened to fucking adopt this fucking baby Yoda.
Right.
You know, so never forget that the show is technically still about this guy.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Or he's just the vehicle to tell all these other fucking stories that are going on around him.
100%. The Razor Crest is the vehicle to take us to all of these other stories in Star Wars.
Yeah, maybe. So at the end of this episode, chapter 13,
right?
You know, Ahsoka still says the fucking, I'm not training him, whatever.
Right.
Take him to Tython. Right? It's the home of an ancient Jedi temple.
Right.
Put him on the top of the fucking pedestal. He'll choose his own path, blah, 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 blah. Tython has some very important significance when it comes to Legends material, right? Tython, for people who play the Old Republic, if you create a Jedi Knight or a Jedi Consular character, that's where you start, because in Legends, Tython was the home of the first... they called it the first congregation of Force users, right?
Okay.
The origins of the Jedi, essentially, was on Tython, the planet Tython. So, you know, it's probably changed now in the new canon and everything. Now it's just an ancient Jedi temple, but still.
But yeah, the idea that they're like, here's something out of the Old Republic, because where have we heard of Tython before other than this?
I know it's been mentioned before,
but not to this degree.
right?
Not like, hey, we're going to go to this planet, we're going to fucking hang out there.
Yeah.
And he's going to roll in there. He's going to find a friendly person. Then they're going to encounter a bad person, and then somebody's going to win. And scene.
You're sounding very cynical.
Well, it's not. But here, this is the vehicle that has to keep going. This is the vehicle that has to keep going and keep the casuals interested, because that's what's going to keep the show on the air.
Yeah.
So anyway, Tython, go.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited about Tython. Isaac Sipe in the chat mentioned that Bane went to Tython at one point. I don't remember that, and I read that whole trilogy. So
it's one of it. I feel like he's not going to make it to Tython first. He's going to have to go somewhere.
Oh yeah,
else.
he's going to have to stop somewhere else, refuel.
We can't have continuity, like straight continuity in this, because fuck us.
Right.
We have to be like, oh, I got to make a pit stop here.
To be fair, though, every pit stop, every side quest that he's gone on, it's still been a fun story.
Oh yeah.
I can't think in the course of this series that there's been a single episode where I'm like, oh, that episode was terrible.
I would agree. I have not said that. And we've said that for pretty much everything else that's come out. There's always been
oh yeah, I think you even go back to Rebels and fucking especially Clone Wars.
Yeah,
there's been some fucking
couple years of that shit.
Yeah,
but we're talking about Mandalorian. Like there are some characters that I don't necessarily like.
Oh, me either. Like the maintenance chick on Tatooine.
Yeah, that fucking
especially.
Broad. I can't stand that broad.
Yeah, I'd love it if she just got like decapitated one day. And...
yeah, like something blew up. The fucking droids ate her body. I don't know. some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, that's devastating.
Yeah.
Moving on. Docking Bay
94.
30 right there. They're 30 something. Must have later. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, I agree. You're not saying to yourself like, man, that was a clunker. You say to yourself like, that was a good story.
Yeah.
Now the Star Wars in you might be going like, that doesn't help me get to the next point that I want to.
Right. But
it's still a nice story.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the point for Dave Filoni.
Well, and then you have those two competing things. You've got Jon Favreau. We don't know his level of fandom, right?
Oh,
he's probably a huge fan of the original trilogy, but how deep is he into all of the Legends material, the current expanded universe?
Dude, that dude's balls deep, and he's got his thumb in the asshole. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that he is not fully engorged in what's going on with the Star Wars. And now that he's in a position to be part of the canon, how do you not? Like, this is where being Dave Filoni, like you're the all-powerful person in fucking Disney right now.
Yeah.
Because you have Favreau, who is going to like, hey, you can do all the mechanics for all this other shit. We're gonna feed the story through you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how you tell it, but this is where I want the story to go.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're Jon Favreau, how do you not go like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like, if we can get to some place that's meaningful in the Star Wars universe and also put out a good fucking product, I'm in.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at.
Yeah, we're at this great meeting of the minds between these two.
Yeah, because we have 13 chapters of this show now that it could have very easily have gone off the rails by now.
Oh, yeah.
We got lucky. Well, like, because I think even us going into season 2, we're like, let's kind of wait now and see how it's going to go. We don't know. Like, can they carry this going forward?
Mm-hmm.
But
although
I think that we're kind of bought into it with the Darksaber introduction, that kind of like,
oh yeah,
that tickled us a little bit.
Well, they had everybody with Baby Yoda. Let's just face facts.
And they will continue.
They pulled us all in. The fucking hardcore fans, the casuals. We were all fucking taken aback with Baby Yoda.
The Funko.
Like we were in love from day one.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, the Darksaber, they introduced that. So they just like sunk their claws in deeper.
Yeah.
To those of us who like are really big into Star Wars.
Yeah.
With shit like that.
And that I think that's why it's going to continue to be good.
Yeah.
We're not going to get it all in one shot. We're going to get some storylines that don't necessarily further the agenda that we believe is there.
And that's fine.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Like, again, insert fucking here's this person. He's going to encounter some good person,
Mhm.
and they're going to have a montage, and Baby Yoda's going to be
to a montage.
Yeah. Dude, I swear to God, when we watched the fucking the episode with the Fett armor, which fucking Boba Fett,
Yeah, like that whole storyline is still lingering out there.
Watching that episode and like, okay, how do you not think about the Three Amigos when they're fucking like they're doing the sewing machines and shit like that?
Santa Poco.
That's what this show is, though. That's what this show is. I mean, I think it's funny when I hear people say that, like, oh, I don't like Westerns, so they're not watching this show. I'm like, okay.
Who has said that?
My daughter actually has said that. And whatever. But other people have said the same thing. Like, I'm not really into that genre. Like, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
You don't have to be. Like, those of us who recognize what it is, like, and just picture Clint Eastwood as the fucking Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like, that, okay, cool. Now we just have something that's recognizable. Like, that shouldn't turn you off to this.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, like, there's not a lot of people that are saying, like, I hate this show. Like, those people just aren't out there. If they're out there, we don't hear them.
I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about this show, like, at all. Like, some people just haven't watched it yet, but the people who have watched it, and at a minimum, thought it was pretty cool.
Obviously, there's a lot of people fucking watching it too, because it's basically it's Disney Plus.
Yeah.
As we started this whole fucking segment on, The Mandalorian is Disney Plus.
I am the Disney Plus.
Yes, exactly. But what I think for us, going forward is for those of you who aren't watching on YouTube, that was Jason drinking water.
Yes.
At full throat. Yeah, I feel like we're going to be able to have all things Star Wars podcast content, at least until the end of this Mandalorian series. And then, oh, by the way, there's like this fucking thing, this called the High Republic, allegedly, that's going to be coming out at some point, which I'm still can't get excited about. I'm sorry.
Same. Yeah.
But
it's, I was talking to somebody at work today. Me and this one particular guy that I work with, we have these really existential conversations about pop culture stuff, and we talk about Star Wars, Star Trek, Game of Thrones, all kinds of big things that have like huge fandoms and whatnot. And I don't remember where I was going with that. Fuck.
Existential conversations. I'm glad it's not just me.
Wow, I just pulled a Dave, and I
did.
Totally forgot where I was going with that.
Right, halfway through the words coming out of your mouth too.
Oh my God.
I hate that. I hate when that happens.
Fuck.
That should be part of the drinking game.
Yeah, when one of us like totally loses our train of thought,
and not just Dave.
Fucking hell! I had it right there too.
Oh fuck! Any help in the chat?
This is where we go completely off the rails. But what were you just talking about?
I don't remember.
Fuck! God damn it!
You expect I don't fucking, it's stream of consciousness, man. Whatever's fucking in my brain, I just fart out my mouth.
We were talking about fandoms and I
don't know. God
damn it, Dave.
Hey, let's answer a question from the chat real quick. Maybe it'll help jog your memory. Ivo G asked, do you guys think that Ahsoka knows what happened in the throne room?
So I have seen a lot of people doing their own like fan-made comic strips and everything else of Ahsoka and Luke having, some sort of connection in the current canon, because we now know that Ahsoka is out there and fucking Luke is still out there.
Right.
How have they not fucking come together at this point? Right.
It's a big universe.
It is.
I'm not surprised that they haven't, especially if she's not a Jedi.
Yeah.
B, trying to stay off the grid, hanging
Yeah.
out with Mandalorians who are the sworn enemy of the Jedi for all intents and purposes, right?
Yeah.
So
But how amazing would that meeting be?
this
Ahsoka.
is just you trying to win $1 from me about having fucking Luke in the series.
Well, no.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Luke is going to make an appearance in Mandalorian.
No.
I guarantee it.
Nope.
Guarantee it.
Nope.
Just like I guarantee Jim Harbaugh will head coach a team again somewhere.
I pity the team that makes that consideration. You know, it'd be perfect for that. Fucking, you should go back to San Fran. Let him go back to San Fran. You can have him. You have such confidence in him, then you should want him back.
I mean, the GM that he butted heads with is also gone. So,
and that was obviously the problem.
I mean, that was the perception. So, whatever. The conversation for another day. Fuck. What the hell was I talking about
I don't
today
know.
with my coworker?
Bronco Fett asked about Kyle Katarn or Coran Horn show up.
No, I think those are too obscure.
Those are deep cuts.
Yeah.
Those are deep cuts. Those are way deeper than Rebels.
Yeah.
Because even all the shit that we're doing right now, aside from the I was about to say Thorazine, the Tyrion or whatever the fuck planet that is.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from all that, which is it was a little bit of a deeper cut, I think we're staying pretty vanilla inside like the canon.
Yeah.
We're talking about Rebels and Clone Wars and things like that.
Yeah, because those were pretty prevalent.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka was a big character between both of those. So it's not a huge stretch.
And again, Dave Filoni.
Yeah. But Dave Filoni probably doesn't even give a fuck about Kyle Katarn or Corin Horn.
I don't know.
For that matter.
I don't know. We don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know. I will put nothing past them. But I do think that's kind of a reach for those of us who would want. We still pine for the legends, you know. Right. As Bronco Fett's team name is aptly the Summer of Legends, my ass.
We started the Summer of Legends.
We gave it a college try.
We did.
We gave it a Jim Harbaugh try.
Yeah, and then we got COVID, and fucking just shit went out the window.
Yeah, and let's face it, all that would have done, if this is considered a sidebar, then Luna Girl should drink her tea.
Mm-hmm.
All that would have done is just made us probably not appreciate what's going on with Mandalorian now. With what's going on in the canon, because I can tell you right now that me getting back into the expanded universe shit, all it wanted me to do was start getting back into the sacred text.
The sacred text.
Because I would have gotten full fucking raging erection reading these books that are all in front of me now that I don't have to wait for,
because there's a lot of them. I would have
been all into it.
A lot of good content,
and I probably wouldn't be as excited as I am for the fucking Mandalorian.
Yeah, and
so
I'm
kind of glad.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You can't balance both, right? I feel like you have to either be all in on Legends or all in on current Disney canon, even though some of it is shit. We can fully admit that some of Disney canon is hot garbage, but it's what we have. Yeah. And it's what they're going to make new content based off of.
And guess what? Say what you will about the Disney product for what it is with Star Wars, but it's what we have right now.
Yeah.
It's the Mandalorian. There is hope.
Yeah. It's because it's good.
So long as they fucking just stop it with the Cassian Andor fucking series like this.
Well, that's gonna happen. That's happening no matter what.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
How successful it is, we'll see.
I am Cassian Andor. Prepare to die.
Right.
It's so fucking ridiculous. Why? It annoys me just thinking about it.
Yeah. It's one of those early Kathleen Kennedy. We can do anything with Star Wars and it's going to make money, fuck it.
No.
Well, that's what she was thinking.
Right.
Which, by the way, her fucking contract with Lucasfilm, I think, is up in about 2 or 3 months. I hope they just fucking...
I think it'd be a great time for her to retire.
Yeah.
Take all her billions of dollars and just ride off in the fucking Mandalorian sunset and then put somebody else on the throne.
I mean, everybody wants Dave Filoni.
He
in
won't
that spot.
He won't, because he wants to be still wants to be a creator. He doesn't want to fucking have to deal with all that.
And I agree.
Bullshit.
Is Jon Favreau a candidate to run Lucasfilm, or is he also a creator and doesn't want to run a studio?
I think what you're gonna have legitimately, and this could be a whole nother fucking episode, but I legitimately think you're gonna have some corporate weenie that's out of Disney from somewhere.
Yeah, it'll probably be a transgender woman of color. Because they have to make sure they check all of the boxes, and then we can say, look at how progressive we are.
The views of Jason Roskin were not necessarily the views of the All Things Star Wars podcast, and or especially Dave.
Yeah, but look at how progressive we are with this new head of Lucasfilm, who checks every box that is important.
I think that whoever they put in there it could very well be a representative like that. Somebody that they're going to put in there, like, here, we're putting you at the wheel, but it's the fake steering wheel on the wrong side of the car. Like, you can, it's the fucking Maggie Simpson steering wheel. Like, here you go, here you go, honk the horn, do whatever the fuck you want to do. However, you're not actually driving the fucking car.
I think somebody just hit the nail on the head. They need to get what's her name, who played Holdo, to just embrace that character so much that Admiral Holdo is now the CEO of Lucasfilm
with her purple hair.
Yeah.
She's too vanilla. She's too vanilla white girl. She was in Jurassic Park, for God's sake.
That's true. Yeah. She's at the end of the day, she's a blonde white girl. So
that wouldn't fly. Wouldn't happen. Anyway.
All right. Well, this is a great time to close up this show.
Before Jason I gave Jason all these opportunities to fucking figure out what he was trying to get to earlier, but it's gone.
I totally lost.
We'll save it for the post show.
I don't know if it's going to come back to me then either.
Speaking of the post show, because we didn't really plug anything in the beginning of the show, so we're going to
plug anything at all.
We're going to plug some shit now.
Plug it.
We're gonna plug the.
Dave loves to plug things.
Factually correct. We're going to talk about the From a Gen X Point of View podcast, which this is being simulcast on.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this on the All Things Star Wars podcast feed, thank you for 162 episodes of success. However, fucking get over to Gen X POV and fucking subscribe to that and download that.
Yes, please.
We'll be simulcasting all these fucking episodes in there. And listen, the episodes are so small. They're so small. You can download them.
It's so small.
It's so small. Penis. So small.
Sorry.
Penis. So small.
So small.
So go to your favorite subscription, however, whether it be iTunes, whether it be Google Podcasts, whether it be Spotify, whether it be fucking Pornhub, whatever.
Yo, are we on Pornhub?
That would be fucking hilarious if we were. I don't think we are, though.
I'll figure out a way to post us.
That would be fucking hilarious. It's like, if you're on any of those things, fucking find us, like us, subscribe to us, download us, give us 5-star reviews. If you're on iTunes, you can send. Here's the thing. So we know that, like, us old people are on Facebook, and you might be a younger person in the audience. So, like, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not going to go on Facebook and leave a review. And I listen to Spotify because Spotify is everything. And I don't fuck around with iTunes. That's all cool in the hood, man. That's not words that I meant to put together, but you can email us. If you email genxpov@gmail.com, if you send us an email, I check it fairly regularly, believe it or not. And if you put a review for us to read in the email, we'll read it that way. And now it doesn't help us nearly as much as a 5-star review would in iTunes.
Sure.
But we'd still read your review because we like to hear from you. We like to have your feedback.
Yes.
So
I thrive on feedback.
Yes, it is the crux of everything that is going to be good and or better. Because if you don't get feedback, then it is going to be bad and then start sucking.
Right.
Sounds like a lot of our military career. Not gonna lie.
A lot of sucking?
A lot of sucking.
All right.
Well, not as much for me, but what else do we need to plug? We need to plug the
Potbelly.com.
I sing it better.
I'm trying, man.
You play the instrument and I'll sing. Podbelly.com. You can find the All Things Star Wars podcast in podbelly.com. If you go to the directory, search for podcasts, and then you can see us. We're right there at the top, the All Things ATSW or All Things Star Wars. You can also find the ATSW Escape Pod right there with us in the directory, and give those guys a holler. Download them, subscribe to them, listen to them, love them, massage them, caress them. Do whatever you have to do to them to make them feel better about themselves.
And if you do it long enough, they're going to be really happy.
They are going to be real happy. I think they'll be happy regardless. I think they just like attention.
Sure.
Support those guys. Go on Facebook. Go ahead on Facebook and search for Layman's Terms, because Keith Layman is on the Facebook with his own show.
Yep, he just recently did a episode where he opened up a bunch of the new set of the Magic.
And Keith, I love you. I'm not a Magic guy, so I will give you the like, and I'm probably not going to watch. I'm sorry. I just it's not my content.
Yeah,
and that's okay, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let it play. I'm going to hit the like. That way you get that, and then I know that you're making good content, and that's what's important, and that's what all of you should do for all of our content creator friends. And let's not forget the Use and Abuse podcast.
Yep,
with our friends Scott and Kim. I don't know when their next show is getting put out, but any of those people, find them, listen to them, enjoy them, and you will do it. That's all I have.
And Bronco Fett has been bugging us nonstop about Transformers. Here's what I think about Transformers. Pivoting to the Gen X POV. Yes. I think we have to just do it the way we did, Rebels and Clone Wars. We just have to break it down by seasons or like a group of episodes, because I don't think it's worthy of a single episode.
No, I'd agree, because that's probably one of the stories of our childhood.
Yes.
Like we know where we were when certain characters died and things like that. There was actually like probably some of our earliest stories that like hit us in the feels.
Well, sure, because I mean, because we had so many things. We had He-Man,
right?
We had Voltron, Transformers, GoBots, and all that stuff. But Transformers was the one that's like, okay, we're gonna do something a little bit different, and we're gonna kick you in the fucking balls, and we're gonna fucking kill Optimus Prime, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna just throw everything into fucking chaos.
No,
and
I don't think aside from fucking like certain movies like E.T. where fucking E.T.'s dying, and like other than that, like from a cartoon perspective, none of them I think hit the same way as Transformers did. So I would agree, if we could break that down into seasons, maybe do a couple seasons and kind of see where it goes, I think that's relevant.
So all right, Bronco Fett, here is your task, sir. Find out where it is streaming, where we can watch all of the episodes of Transformers. Let us know, and then we will do it.
I have that link. Do it. I have the link that my cousin provided.
I'd prefer to do it legitimately, but if we have to resort to that, then that's fine too.
We have to resort to violence, then that's what we'll do. I mean,
that's
part of it.
How things get done, right?
Exactly. The threat of violence. Anyway, not a whole episode on how Beast Wars suck. We're not going to do that.
I watched like half an episode of Beast Wars. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I know. It's fucking horrific.
Yeah.
I think we're good. We're good?
I'd say so.
All right, we're good. I don't know what we're doing next week.
Well, so next week, I'm going to be out of the state, allegedly, if they let us go. I've still got a lot of work stuff going on, so we may not even get an episode in. If we do, it's going to be a remote episode. Okay. So stand by. We don't know. We may take a week off.
Nobody's going anywhere right now. It's such a fucking shit show.
See, you say that, but you don't work for the people that I work for.
I've worked in that place, and so I know what you're going through.
It's trust me, if it were up to the people that I work for, nothing would be different. There would be no lockdown. There would be no
we know.
restrictions. There would be nothing. It's just
We
like,
know.
no, you're here to fucking work, and we're going to work you to the bone.
This is why the rest of active duty is glad that this fucking disease is on the other side of the base, which is unfortunate because that's where the BX is, but nobody's going there.
But we digress. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for everybody who's joined us in the YouTube chat. Again, follow from a Gen X point of view on YouTube. Follow All Things Star Wars on YouTube and the audio streams for both shows.
Yep.
We're doing both podcasts. You know, we kind of go back and forth depending on what's fucking new.
Yeah, whatever. You don't care.
Yeah.
Just fucking download us, subscribe to us, fucking
Yeah.
subscribe more on
And
YouTube.
We'll be here every week, no matter what.
Yeah, most weeks. But idiots at work notwithstanding. But
Yeah.
we really, really need the subs for fucking YouTube.
Yeah, because
We do.
ultimately, and we need the shit for sponsors, right? Because we were sponsored by El Yucateco for a while, but we lost that because the people who were following us on All Things Star Wars did not follow us to Gen X POV, and we lost downloads.
Bitches.
And
Mother bitches.
help us out, guys.
Yeah,
Please
what the
help us out. Hook a brother up,
And you will do it.
and you will do it.
Dave has to pay.
And until next time, Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Let's try not to break a glass.
Okay, now what do I click?
All right.
Oh my god.
Apparently, we're in the clear. The storm has passed, and we are good. ATSW episode 162. I can't believe we have done this for 162 fucking episodes. Raw. That's not even counting Gen X POV or anything else. All right, let me see if I can. Hey, there's Ben in the chat. Hey, Ben. He'll be back. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you for talking. All right, let's catch up. Tubi app? What the hell is Tubi app?
I've got a bone to pick with this weather. Or more importantly, the fucking forecasters of this weather. So we had this like fucking tornado watch thing, right?
Yes.
That popped up. And so I saw the tornado watch and Luna Girl's into the fucking weather. Like she's one of the weather spotters for up in the Poconos, right?
Which is awesome, by the way.
I wish I had bandwidth to fucking do that.
Yeah.
Maybe after the Reese Across America thing is done, I'll have some bandwidth available. But I really need to. I got way too much shit going on.
Yeah.
So, but I know a lot about weather as part of my fucking, part of college and, flying and all sorts of shit. Right. Mm-hmm. So I open up the my ForeFlight app and I'm looking at the weather and looking at the winds aloft and shit like that. And I'm like, there's no indicator for a tornado here. Like there's high winds for sure. Like high wind gusts, and what I think has happened in this age, the media has now driven how we report the weather, because the seriousness of the fucking weather system is now being over fucking like, okay, we're going to say it's a fucking tornado warning.
So this is a new form of clickbait is what you're saying?
I think they have to. I think now the media streams are like, well, if you're a fucking, let's face, first of all, the weather forecasters that work for fucking, Channel 3 and whatever, like there are regional forecasters. They're not actually like Luna Girl is more accurate than they're going to be with what's going on with the weather, because she's telling the weather from her fucking station.
Sure.
Whereas a region like Philadelphia is reporting on a greater region. The weather shop that's at McGuire is going to fucking report on what's going on at McGuire. So it's going to be a more localized forecast, which is going to be by proxy more accurate.
You would think, yeah.
You would think. So what happens is, these channel 29s and everything else are like, oh, fucking tornado watch.
Yeah.
Because there is a chance, this fucking that 1 to 5% chance that a fucking tornado could develop because of the fucking winds that are in a particular thunderstorm. It's a fucking thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Like I'm really, really tired of being sold. The fucking thunderstorms that we've had, yeah, they've been pretty significant. They've been high winds and everything else.
Yeah.
And there's been some big thunderstorms that gone through
where they've knocked out power.
Yeah. But knocking out power isn't like is not the standard for determining it. Like,
so I mentioned, going into the liquor store earlier today and them having the local news on. They were saying on this local news, they were like being really dramatic. You need to stay away from windows. Keep your TV volume all the way up so we can let you know.
Complete horseshit.
You think so?
Complete horseshit.
Yeah.
It honestly it is. Like, if you're listening to us right now and you're in the United States and you want a good weather forecast, then go to nws.gov or go to weather.gov and fucking drill in through there and read a report that they're giving. And look at the percentages that they're associating with a particular event.
Mm.
Like what percentage threshold determines a fucking watch or a warning. Back in the day, a tornado warning was because there has been fucking actual cyclonic event happening with a certain part of the fucking system.
Yeah.
Right. This system that went through here, like if I drew it on a whiteboard, you look at it and go like, it'd be really, really hard to develop a tornado out of this fucking system just by the nature of how it developed. Right. Flat storm, a lot of rain coming through, not one of those big summer storms or fucking big towering clouds. No, you didn't have that.
It is strangely warm right now, though.
Because all this air is coming from the south.
Yeah.
You know what it's going to be tomorrow? 48 degrees.
Probably.
No, I think that it's an occluded front that went through. So honestly, and you can't expect people are getting their weather from their fucking app on their phone or whatever, like whatever the iPhone
Weather bug, man.
Yeah.
That's what I use.
And I use whatever Apple has. And then if I really wanted to understand the weather, I fucking open up an app, and I'd rather look at a fucking TAF than have Fox 29 tell me what the fucking weather is going to be, because it's so overblown that it's the Bronco Fett syndrome. It's the crying wolf. It's the clicking, right? Who keeps telling us that it's fucking clicking, and oh no, suddenly it's not. You're going to keep telling us that these weather events are more significant than they are. Then when a real significant weather event happens, somebody's going to fucking be out to lunch because fuck, they said the 2 storms that going through it were supposed to be the significant. I'm sick of it. Sick of it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Luna Girl says most of the time a watch is issued as being from Storm Prediction Center in Oklahoma. I believe it. They're probably looking at the data stream coming from Mount Holly. Mount Holly is our the big radar station that's local to us.
Yeah,
in fact, it's real close to the base. I'm just like this weather event that went through. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of lightning.
Yeah,
there was a good thunderstorm. Why can't a good thunderstorm just be that? Why does it have to be what's going to happen? What's a straight line wind event comes through. It doesn't make the threshold of a tornado. Then now what? Now what are you going to do? What are you going to call that? Because that's damaging. Right, you got my father-in-law fucking worried about shit blowing around in a yard for a fucking thunderstorm. Like it's a thunderstorm.
Right.
I'm not going to go fucking tie the kayaks to the fucking roof of the shed because of a fucking just a thunderstorm. Yeah, you could have a significant. Fucking bothers me.
Well, and that's again, it goes back to the whole clickbait thing, right? It's everything's gotta generate those clicks. It's got to generate that revenue.
It's media in general, and that's. Kathy and I were watching television, like no kidding television the other day. And we were what were we watching? We were watching it like a movie. Oh, fuck, what movie was it?
I don't know.
It was like Christmas Vacation, or it might have been. It was a Christmas Vacation. I don't know. It'll come to me when I don't need it. But we're watching it on television, so like there was a commercial every fucking 5 minutes. We're watching it. We're in the hotel out in State College, and we're watching a I know I can't remember it, but it was a movie we knew.
Mm.
Oh, we were watching Harry Potter.
Okay.
Watching Harry Potter movies. And there was a commercial every fucking 15 minutes.
Jesus.
And it's like, I can't. And it's the same fucking commercial over and over and over again. The game we were playing was, okay, how many times are we going to see this commercial in the next 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
And we're completely, I got to the point where I forgot what we were fucking watching. I can't do it. I'm so spoiled by having streaming services and watching stuff on demand that I can't even watching the fucking Monday Night Football game tonight. It's going to drive me insane. The only good news is there's no fucking political ads anymore.
Are you actually going to watch the game tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I am an idiot. You can isolate that. Play it later.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot.
I'm not recording. Oh, sad face.
But it's on YouTube, so I'm not completely in the clear. But
yeah,
I'm sure I've said that once or twice on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I'm disappointed in this Eagles season, and I think it's a horrible product right now, I'm still going to watch it.
Well, the fucked up thing is, at what are you guys, 3-7-1?
We could still make
you
the
can
playoffs.
Easily win the division.
Well, and so
easily.
So here's the
fucked up part.
Here's the problem. This is a problem as an Eagles fan. If you're trying to, personally, I think that Doug Peterson is not coaching the team properly, right?
I'm sorry. Ben just rolled in with the Chiefs are better.
Yes, they are. 100% they are. And thank you, Tyreek Hill. Thank you for being so awesome.
Yeah.
Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
I love Big Red. When we were here watching the Super Bowl, I was rooting for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems like forever ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like insane. But yeah, I think Doug Peterson, if he's going to stay and in capacity, they need to hire an offensive coordinator. They need somebody else calling these plays, because he's calling plays that he thinks is going to work as opposed to he knows are going to work.
Right.
Or if he is calling plays that he knows are going to work, like he's in this delusional state, and he's proven it almost every week.
Mm.
So I'm not surprised that the rumors are out there that Jeffrey Lurie is unhappy. If I were an owner, I'd be unhappy as well.
Sure. Yeah.
I think the best years of Carson Wentz are being wasted with some shitty play calling.
Well, and again, like this year in particular,
Jason, we've talked about it before. If I coached fucking bullshit football, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you right now, if I said, here's my playbook, here's COVID, here's our restrictions on fucking practicing, and we're fucking always worried about the bubble and getting tested and there's no continuity of any operations, but we still have to go on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of this, we're gonna go to this.
Yeah, you've got your basic I formation, halfback off the guard.
If you're gonna run the RPO stuff, okay, the RPO stuff maybe goes from this to this.
Yeah,
but in reality, here's your probability of success. It's going to get higher the smaller that playbook is.
Sure. Yeah.
Because
just let your athletes be athletes.
Exactly. Make your playmakers make plays.
Yeah.
And right now, you're trying to coach your player into making plays. He said it in fucking on interviews. We need to be coaching Carson better. We need to coach this. We need to coach that. Mm. Your coaching is what got us into this fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Got us into a fucking 3-win season with a fucking tie. Like, your coaching has got us here.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is a product of your coaching. You're proving it. We're going to have all this fucking, we can play all the fucking video of you fucking admitting to it. So either you change and understand that you're broken, or you're fucking gone. And here's the worst part of that, to your original point. The fact that this is a COVID season and everything's all fucked, if they make the playoffs, they make the playoffs. It's going to fuck the whole season, because how do you fire them then? You made the playoffs. By hook or by crook, you make the playoffs. Now what? Do you fire the guy for making the playoffs?
Yeah, even though they might have been like 6-9-1 or
I'd be
whatever.
Surprised if this is a 6-win team. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I just like I didn't think Penn State was going to win a game. I don't. The Eagles have the hardest schedule in the NFC East.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because they have to play the NFC East.
No.
So
Well, they only have 2 games left in the NFC East, but they're playing teams like the Seahawks. They have
well, yeah, because that's right, because the NFC West played the East this year. So yeah, you've had to play the Niners, you've had to play the Rams, the fucking Seahawks, and the Cardinals.
We have Seattle, we have Green Bay, we have New Orleans, we have Arizona. Then we finished with Dallas and Washington. Yeah. Tell me where there's a win in that scenario.
But the flip side of that coin is everybody else in your division has that same basic fucking schedule.
No, if you look at like probabilities of the win percentages, like Dallas and the Giants have easier schedules,
but
based on win losses.
Dallas can't beat fucking Dick right now. Dallas can't.
Like nobody's more happy about that than I am.
Yeah, Dallas
lost to Washington by like fucking 3 touchdowns,
dude. And I fucking love it. I fucking love the fact that Dallas has crashed and fucking burned into just like a fucking flaming shit pile on the ground. I love that.
Yeah, McCarthy from Green Bay like probably thought he was going to walk into like a football dynasty and basically step straight into a flaming pile of shit.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
so I love every second.
I'm loving that. But I mean, your division has given teams like the Giants and Washington hope.
Yeah.
Right? Because their division is so shitty that they're just like, fuck, if we just go and we just fucking play as good as we can have a chance to beat any of these other fucking teams in our division and make the fucking playoffs as a 6-win team.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's highly probable.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a division winner. There's going out of this division, there will be a winner, and they will host a game.
And they're going to host a playoff game.
Whatever that means these days. Like who you could play in fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
I think the entire playoffs should be played in the same fucking building, even if it is in Arlington.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the Cowboys aren't going to be there. They're not going to make the playoffs. So the building will be available.
Yeah.
So fucking yeah. Or go to Indianapolis and have the entire playoffs in one building so you can create a bubble environment like you did for hockey.
Or the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, it's effective. Once you get teams narrowed down to that point, I think that's the only way you have a decent product. Yeah, you played a Super Bowl and it's not in your home field, so you lose the advantage there. Who gives a shit about the rest of the season? Because nobody's going to have fans. New Jersey just went to you can't have more than 25 people in a group outdoors.
Yeah, so
that effectively eliminates anybody showing up to a Giants or Jets game. Which, let's face it, nobody was really going to those games anyway. Especially, I think fucking Ivo G mentioned the Jets in the fucking chat.
That was early in the chat, I think.
It came up just before I didn't have a chance to react to it, but the Jets, Jets. He said Harbaugh should go there to the Jets.
Hey, I would love it because I would be $1 richer. So
Harbaugh couldn't be the fucking special teams coach in an NFL program right now.
He took the 49ers to the Super Bowl, son. Super Bowl in his second year as head coach,
and he lost to his brother.
Yeah,
in a game of questionable. A single playoff run does not a good coach make. This is why fucking what's his nuts fucking Chucky is overrated.
Yeah.
Chucky went into Tampa Bay and fucking won a Super Bowl with that Tampa Bay team that beat the Eagles in the playoffs.
True.
He took fucking a team that was built by his predecessor, whose name's escaping me right now, and basically won a Super Bowl with that team.
Oh, fuck.
Yep, I could see his
Dude
face.
from Indianapolis.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yep, I can't. It's not there.
Been a long day.
It has indeed.
And to be fair, the team that Jim Harbaugh inherited in San Francisco was basically the team that Mike Nolan built. It was a decade of first, second, or third round, or first, second, or third overall draft picks.
Yeah.
That the 49ers had, that they eventually, accumulated all this fucking talent.
I'm still upset that Singletary couldn't fucking make the 49ers a winning team.
Yeah,
I like that guy.
If they'd given him another year or two, he could have taken that same talent. And
what the fuck is that dude? Tony
Dungy.
Tony Dungy.
Woo! Yes.
We
got there.
That hurt.
All right. Are we good?
Yes.
Yeah, because I need to get.
Are you downloading the? Is that all done?
I've gotten close. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, Bronco Fett sent me a link on Facebook to
Oh.
Tubi.
Tubi, yeah. He said it's free. I've been seeing ads for a thing called Tubi.
Yeah, so we may have to do Transformers on the next episode of From a Gen X Point of View.
Well, we also we have a spirited debate about the Christmas Story versus.
Oh, that's right. We have our Christmas episode coming up.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we've decided, by the way, that the Christmas episode of From a Gen X Point of View this year is going to be A Christmas Story versus Christmas Vacation. Which is the better Christmas movie?
Yes.
And
I plan on putting a poll out there at some point to
yeah, you can smoke my poll is what you can do.
I think there'll be interesting discussions on both points.
Right.
I've been interviewing people to aggregate data. Yes, I have.
Well, and to be fair, I'm going to go into this with as neutral of a point of view as I can.
Fuck that.
Obviously, I have my own personal biases.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes.
I have mine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that being, it's December tomorrow. So
yeah,
I've only got a few weeks before Christmas.
And my birthday.
And your birthday.
Yeah. 44.
Whatever.
I'm going to stay 44 forever.
Are you?
Like every year, it's going to be my second, third annual 44th birthday.
See, I thought about doing that for 45. Just because it's a easy number to
it's a good number
round up to.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't like the second anniversary of my 45th birthday though. That sounds even older.
Yeah.
I don't even care. We'll turn that conversation to another time.
Lunar Girl refuses to turn 44. Well,
I mean,
there's only one way out of that. And I don't think you want that option.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So, all right, we're signing off.
Yeah, we're signing off. Thanks everyone for sticking around.
I got an Eagles game to watch. Go Birds.
Yep, I agree, and not the Seahawks because fuck them.
Fuck those stupid chickens.
Yep. All right. Love you, Ben.
Peace. Click.